not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California. The first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen, and I am here with the Tuckster, Friar Dave Tuckman. And tonight, it's Monday night, and we are going to be doing another episode of our team play Heads Up matches.
Heads Up, No Limit Hold'em at its best.
The way that we do this show is we're going to have two teams, and those teams are going to have either 3 or 4 people on them.
Right.
Each player from each team will play one preliminary match against someone from the other team, and that match consists of 32 hands of heads-up play. With escalating blinds, the blinds escalate every 4 hands.
Right.
It's $1,000 each, Dave, so each player will start with $1,000 in real cash. The winner of that heads-up match is basically determined by whoever has the most chips at the end of the match. You can bust the person out the first hand, or you can win by $1 after 32 hands. Regardless of how much you win by, all of your chips that you win will go to your team.
Right.
So if I beat you by $1, I'm taking all of your $1,000 chips.
Right.
All of your chips go to your team. And the final match, which is the match to determine who actually wins the team play,
right,
and the actual money, gets divvied up. The final match will consist of basically the person that wins the most money from each team in the quickest amount of time.
Yes.
So, if you've got...
So those first 4 matches are pretty much... Those first 4 heads-up matches are just preliminary matches to set up
the chip count structure for the final match. If you've got 4 people on each team and three of your team won, they're going to start with
6,000.
6,000, and the other team's going to start with 2,000.
Exactly.
So, without further ado, let's get to the
action. Do it. Pretty exciting here. We've got Action Mo, and he's representing Mo's Nuts versus Peter. And Mo put a little bit of a raise in there right away. And he took it down with 9-10 of hearts, first hand.
So we're in a first level here. In the first level, it's 4 hands per level, and the first level is 5-10. Yeah, now, each player starts with $1,000.
And there's team action there.
In chips. There we go.
Blinds are 5 and 10. Team action is the black team. And the red team is Mo's Nuts, and they are playing Heads Up, No Limit Hold'em.
Right. And again, these preliminary matches are to determine how many chips you have for the final match.
Right. And Peter's on the button here. The small blind is on the button when you're playing Heads Up.
That's right. And he's going to raise it up to 35 here with Queen 3. And Mo's not going to play that hand. Well, actually, he is going to make the call. So I would be a little surprised to see if he folded there. Now, Peter's got top pair, which is big here, heads up.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. That's a monster.
Any pair heads up is good.
I mean, you can even slow play top pair when it's heads up.
Peter bets 75 here. And is Mo going to make a move here? Because he doesn't really have a draw.
Yeah. Now, they're obviously winning faster as opposed to slower. There is something for that because you get to represent your team.
Right. If you bust somebody
in the final match
in level 2 and somebody else busts somebody in level 4, you're the person that plays for your team. But it is a Family Feud style thing at the end where you can get advice and stuff from your team.
Exactly.
The final match.
And if you missed it, we had our first one a couple of weeks ago, and it's really, really exciting. You can check it out in the archives at another time. And this one should be really exciting. Heads Up, No Limit Hold'em. Cash game. You don't really get to see this anywhere else.
Right. And we are on our 3rd hand here in the first level. So there's this hand and one more hand left at the 5-10 level.
And it starts out pretty slow, but we escalate the blinds and make sure these guys have to play. Level 8, the blinds are actually 150, 300.
Now, Peter's got a monster hand here, Dave. He's got Ace-Jack suited. Heads up. Pretty big. And it looked like Mo limped in from the button. And Peter's going to raise it up 50 more.
And the blinds aren't that big now, where it's not that big a deal to let it go.
And Mo folds. Peter takes it down.
Now, last time we did this, we only had 2 hands per level.
Right.
And we upped it to 4 hands, so they get a little more playability here.
It went really, really fast last time.
Right. And it was a very long heads-up match.
Right.
Real exciting here. We've got Team Action in black versus Moe's Nuts in the red. And looks like Moe has got pocket fives, a couple of black fives, driving the speed limit. And Peter's got 69.
He's going to limp in. And Moe's going to check the pair there out of position. Well, it is a small pair. Normally that hand is good enough to raise with, though. And Peter's flopped a gut shot straight draw. Moe checks. And Peter checks right behind him. Turn is a jack. It's a third spade. Moe has the only jack in his hand. Moe's going to check again.
Well, Peter's open-ended now.
And Peter bets here about, I believe, 30, and Moe calls. And the river here is an 8, and Moe's pair of fives are good.
Yes.
And it looked like Peter just gave up there at the end, Dave.
He did.
He did not bet.
And Moe takes it down. And we're pretty close here. I mean, Peter won the first hand, and he won about 40 the first hand. And that was the first significant hand that Moe actually won. And we go right to level 2 here.
Yep.
Blinds jump up to $10.20.
$10 and $20. Now, at the time that we aired this, so we could get it here on time, Dave, we didn't exactly know who was on each team. We know that Moe is obviously on Moe's team, and Peter is on the black team. We know that Corporation Mike is on Moe's team.
Yes. And Trish, his mother actually, is on Peter's team, on Team Action.
Yeah.
And we also know that George, the Greek poker god, is on the black team.
Now, Moe raised here to 50. And look at this. Peter re-raises. He re-raises to 250 with 8-10 offsuit.
Wow.
Pretty aggressive play.
Well, Peter's an aggressive player, especially heads up. You know, we always say aggressive play is winning poker in any. It's always winning poker. But heads up, it takes it to another level.
Well, again, like you said, the levels are kind of small. Does Moe really want to take this hand for a lot of heat? Heads up, Queen 8.
Yeah, he doesn't know it, but he's got Peter dominated.
Pat on his back when he runs the pound. You need a pat on the back, or you got him right where you want him? Both. I'm going to get it next time.
Yeah, and he's just not going to play that hand there, Dave.
George. George, he's the bride.
Yeah, Peter takes it down there. Nice aggressive play by Peter. Now the button is over to Peter.
Yep.
Small blind is 10. Big blind is 20. So Peter's in there for 10 and Moe's in there for 20 now. Peter's first to act in the first round. That'll be pre-flop. But obviously gets to act last on every other
And that's a
betting
huge
round.
advantage because he gets to act first, obviously, and put in that first raise and then be in position every other round.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Now Moe's got a better hand. He's got Queen 4.
Well, Peter just limped in on the button and Moe checked it.
$40 pot now.
Here we go. Ace, Jack, 4. Moe has a pair, again, which is pretty big heads up.
Yeah, anytime you get a pair, that's you like it.
Goes check, check. Especially, Dave, with an ace on board where you'd figure that Peter would have raised. You got to think that you're probably ahead with Queen 4 on that flop, right? But it goes check, check again
Right,
here.
there's another free card.
Yeah.
I think Moe at this point is just hoping to check it down.
And the river's a 5. And look at that. Peter backs into the best hand.
Yep.
Well, Moe's going to have to play a little bit more aggressive, I think, if he wants to win this match.
Yeah, well, it's early yet, and I think he's waiting. He wants the blinds to move up a little bit. I mean, the pot was only $40. I guess he figured, well, it's not much there to even risk it for.
If you want to follow a live thread that's started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, go to forums, click on Texas Hold'em mid and high stakes short-handed section.
Wow.
Dave, right? You can also email us at live@thebike.com. Now look at this. Moe played this slow. I think he limped in with jacks.
So he's got a set of jacks.
And he's got a set of jacks now, and it goes check, check. Turns a spade. Now, Moe doesn't have a spade here, Dave. You'd think he'd have to bet now, right?
Yeah, I would imagine he'd want to throw a little money here.
Although we can see that Peter is drawing dead. And Moe bets, and Peter's not going to give him any action there.
And I'd like to, I'm going to guess here that Peter's at about 1,100 chips and Moe's probably at about 900 right now. And we are into hand, I want to say hand 8 now. Hand 8, so we're in hand 4 of level 2 already.
Right.
Blinds will move up next hand.
And Peter is on the button here again. He's picked up 9-4 again here, Dave.
Oh, good old 49ers, huh?
And you can fold in the small blind.
And he does.
He's going to fold in the small blind.
Some people are afraid. Some people think you can't fold in heads up, and that's completely wrong. You can fold.
So here we go up to level 3, 15-30 blinds.
And heads up hold'em here.
Again, we are playing with 8 levels.
Ed's company? Or Ed's
It's always pretty exciting when you get heads up, no limit hold'em. See how these players are playing it.
Because these two guys have played pretty conservative so far.
Yeah.
Mo picks up the same hand that he did last time. We didn't have it up because it never got to the flop, but 8-7 offsuit.
8-7 offsuit, but Peter's got him dominated with Jack 7, huh?
And Mo made it 150 to go, and Peter here looks like he's going to call.
Wow, and he calls. Interesting.
So Mo has the button, and here we go to the flop. Queen 6-3. Well, it misses both players.
300.
And Mo's going to bet 300. And he's going to take it down there. Dave.
I don't really understand the calling $150 pre-flop with Jack 7 offsuit. I mean, obviously, we know that he had Mo dominated, but you call, then you check it, and then you fold it. You know, what are you really trying to hit there?
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to play.
I mean, I understand playing aggressive, but calling is not really playing aggressive.
Yeah, sure.
So you'd almost rather have seen him re-raise there, you mean?
Like he did before when he had 10-8. You don't want to call that. You re-raise it or throw it away. The blinds are only 10-20, remember?
Raise.
Now the blinds are now up to 15-30.
Well, now Peter's going to come in a little aggressive. He's going to raise it to 90. And look at this. Mo's going to call with 9-5 suited.
Wow.
Peter raises with 6-3 offsuit. It's about a $200 pot going in the flop here. Wow, look at this. Peter's got bottom 2 pair, which is just huge.
Oh, it's enormous.
Even in a full ring game, right?
That's an enormous flop for him.
And look at this. Mo moves all in, and Peter calls. So just like that.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Mo was making a move, and he got his hand caught in the cookie jar here. He needs some sort of...
8 or 4?
Come on.
Turns
Well,
to
he
the
needs
juice.
8 or 4? 4!
King.
All right.
River here is a jack. Well, Mo has a gut shot there to the 4. Is that right?
No, he actually had a double gutter.
He's got a
there.
double gutter. Okay.
Yeah, a 4 or an 8 would have given him a straight.
Yeah.
And he was doing the semi bluff with against Peter,
Yeah.
but ran into Peter's nuts, I guess.
I mean, that's almost like the hand with Dan Harrington and David Williams in the 2004 World Series.
And that's it. There, Peter's going to take down Mo. And I want to say that was hand 10 that he did it in.
And actually, Mo's got a couple chips left here.
Okay, I lied. I'm sorry.
Dan Harrington moving in with a double gutter against David Williams when David Williams had 2 pair.
Right. I mean, Mo wasn't
was-
doing it with nothing. He had a double
Right.
gutter there. Obviously, an 8 or 4 would have given a straight. He's trying to play it aggressive. And
again, even that puts a player in a tough spot. Heads up, even if you have top pair, do you want to commit all your chips? Now with 2 pair, Dave, it's just almost so big.
Well, you know what? Peter kind of confused Mo because, and Mo's okay.
Mo's going to fold that hand.
Mo throws it away. Peter raised pre-flop, so Mo probably thought, well, this guy doesn't have a 6 in his hand.
Right.
He thought maybe he's got ace king or ace queen. I'm going to put him really to the test here.
Should have seen Mo's face when I flipped over 3-6. He went.
And
I
there
think
you
it's
go.
not too bad. You
Interesting.
want there, you got to lay it down, but...
Instant call.
So Mo is pretty much almost down to nothing here. He's got
Yeah,
one
he's-
move.
He's got about $150 left here.
And Peter's going to move all in here. He's got queen deuce high. And Mo has jack 3.
And the blinds are still only 15-30. So Mo could probably afford to throw away 1 or 2 more hands before he really has to gamble. I mean, I want to say Mo's actually got close to about 170 there, right?
Looks like that. And he's going to get rid of that.
I mean, he
hand.
doubles up one more time. He's right back in the match.
You like it when I shoot?
And now we've been
Well,
moving
not
level
quite
4.
right back, but he'd have a little bit better of a chance.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, 2 doubles up, he's actually, really in fine shape.
Gets back up to about 600-700.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Now the-
why risk all your chips with mediocre hands, especially the blinds even on
Yeah, but
high
now
end?
the blinds are 25-50. Now we're up to level 4. The blinds are up to 25-50, and now Mo can't wait.
And look at this. Mo limps in here with king 10, and Peter moves all in. You got to think that Mo might be just trying to play that
Oh, definitely.
limp
He's
call
gonna.
here.
He's gonna.
I mean, that's a pretty big hand heads up there. With
I would
king 10.
imagine Mo is gonna move in here. He's not going anywhere on this hand.
He has nothing. He has queen high. Call.
Yep. And he called Peter's hand. Peter has queen high.
Queen high is good.
You have queen high?
150, 165.
So Peter moved all in. Mo limped in on the button. Peter moved all in, and I think that it's up to Mo.
And Mo's putting his rings in. He's putting everything in there.
I actually do have queen high.
Yeah.
And Mo's in pretty good shape here.
He's in pretty good shape, but it's not like having an overpair.
No.
9-4-4 comes out. Well, king high is still good here. Turns an
One
ace.
more ace.
Still good.
Mo needs to dodge a queen or an 8 here, and the river is a jack, and Mo's going to win it with king high.
Yeah, and he doubles up now. Now Mo's back up to almost $400 in chips. Actually, he did have 400. He had a little over 200 there. And Mo's back in the game. Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman. I'm here with Bart Hansen, and we are playing No Limit Hold'em,
Yeah.
heads up, team tournament style. And this is the first tournament, the first one of the night, and it's Mo representing Mo's Nuts versus Peter there, who's representing Team Action.
Right. Again, if you want to go and follow a live thread, go to 2plus2.com. The forums, Texas Hold'em, short-handed section there, Dave.
And I
Made
gotta-
to high stakes,
It's
short-handed.
interesting. If Peter plays it aggressive again, I think Mo is going to double up again, maybe.
You think he would call here with the queen 10?
I do at this point.
But who's to say that Peter's going to make a move here?
No,
with
he might
Jack
not.
4? Well,
No.
Mo's going to make the move.
You lay down.
And Mo is almost up to $500 now.
Well, and we are up to
Hand 3 of level 4.
hand 3 of level 4. So we're almost halfway through the match, Dave.
Whoever has more money.
It's virtually impossible, I think, to get, now that I think about it, 32 hands.
Yeah. So how many hands left?
And Peter's got king 4 suited here in seat 4, and Mo's got 7 deuce offsuit.
And it's great. You know what's great about this also is a lot of times people get to a final table and they get shorthanded or they get heads up and they really don't know how to play. Well, here it is. You can watch people playing a heads-up tournament here, pretty much.
Mo's going to get rid of it there. I think that Peter probably made a raise. I mean, king high at this point, Dave. Probably
King
pretty
high
good
is
for
it's a
push.
pretty good hand, yeah.
Probably pretty good to push. You know. I got to think though that if they're going to put rings and jewelry in the center, I think Peter's got Mo outgunned there with the Rolex and the.
He's got a Hummer
bling
out waiting
rings.
outside
Yeah.
too.
You go all in.
And Peter's limped in here with Jack 6 suited on the button.
Yeah.
Mo's got 8-10 off suit. So let's see what Mo's going to do. He can just check here,
Yeah,
right,
and at
Dave?
this point, this is really playing like a tournament where Peter's got him outshipped 3-1.
You go all in.
Again, Mo can just check if he wants here.
Yes. The pot is 100 right now, and the action is to Mo.
That's a famous quote.
Peter has limped in here on the
You
button.
have to use it.
And Peter is just bald as a bowling ball.
There's got a
Man.
little mohawk there going on.
I mean, what is that in the middle? Mohawk? Is he actually going to grow hair?
I've never seen him with hair before.
You ever saw him? Remember when he came in here when he had a little hair and he actually had polka dot hair?
Send him back. Send him.
Oh, I do remember that. Now, Mo is raised here,
9
though.
o'clock.
He's
9
raised it
9
up.
o'clock we're gonna start.
And how much has he raised?
And Peter called.
300. And Peter just called. I mean, he's pretty much committed here with the hand.
I'd imagine.
Tell me where I want you.
And look at this. Peter's got bottom pair, and Mo's got a straight draw.
No, it's not. I got the button.
Okay, check.
And Mo checks. And Peter bets the rest here with his pair of 6s. And Mo calls.
Why didn't Mo just move all in?
I don't know.
Odd play.
You got me there. Right now you got
Well,
me.
Mo
I'll
could
go.
catch a 10, an 8, or a 9
Yeah.
or running hearts here.
Flip it over, man.
So he's actually...
If it's going to be a queen, you're going to get slapped.
I need 9.
Here we go to
I
the
need
turn.
8, 9, or 10. He's going to do it.
Turn is a
I need-
5.
Well, now 4 also will do it.
Yeah.
4, an 8, a 9, or a 10.
I need 4, 9, 8, 10.
There you
4,
go.
9, 8, 10, right?
Here we go to the river.
4, 9, 8, 10.
And the river's a
Boom.
queen.
All right.
Queen's not going to do it, and Peter
Peter's
takes
going
it.
to win it. Going to win it there with the pair of 6s.
And I want to say that was hand 4 of level 4,
On date.
so which would make it the 16th hand Peter wins.
Right?
No, this is exactly. Because your mom's different. I mean, you gotta put it here. Just put 2,000 on
So
this.
we're going to shuttle on the net. And that, of course, all of the money goes over to Team Action.
Yes?
That's the black team. So they've won one of the matches now. So in the final match, they're going to be... Well, they have 2,000 chips going for them right now.
Well, it's nice for them. They're guaranteed to actually be in the final match.
Yep.
Now, obviously, if Team Action, if all the players on Team Action were to win the preliminary matches, there would be no final match.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be doing tomorrow night, Dave, on the bikes. Thebike.com is for your website.
Well, what am I doing?
Well, if you go to thebike.com and you download the free software, going going to have a little bit of Tuckman versus the viewers tomorrow.
Bring 'em on. Bring 'em on.
Right around 7 o'clock Pacific time.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Boom, boom.
Shirley and I, who will be here, are going to be announcing
You got so lucky.
the table number that you will be sitting on.
Yes.
And you will be playing against 9 other people, or the first 9 people that come to the table. And from what I understand is it's a cash game, but with play money. And whoever knocks you out will win a bounty.
Ain't nobody knocking me out. I don't think so.
So I don't know if there's going to be necessarily escalating lines or what, but
We'll get all the details for you later, and then obviously you and Shirley get different details tomorrow. But yeah, you come play on a no-limit hold'em table, compete against me,
Yep.
and all you got to do is go to the bike and you play for free site.
there you go. So check it out right now. I mean,
And my username is Tuckman,
yep,
so I'll be easy to find.
Tuckman, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, here we go with match number 2, David. Looks like it's Corporation Mike against his mother. And Mike's going to start it off with the raise here with 10-7 a
It's
club.
Mike versus Mom. And you know the funniest thing is these two players could not have more different styles.
Look at this. Trisha's got an open-ended straight draw here.
She's got Mike really in bad shape.
And
here.
she's going to bet right into the board here. She's going to bet 200 the first hand there. And Mike lets it go. Trish takes it down.
That's funny. In a full ring game, I love to give my money to Trish because she is really, really solid player. Now, heads up, I'm not sure if she can hang with Mike here. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's Mike versus Mom.
Yeah.
How interesting. And obviously, Mom is representing, even though she's wearing red, she is on the black team and she's playing for Team Action. And Mike is actually on Mo's Nuts.
Boy, that's a little...
Yeah, and he's wearing black.
interesting. Okay.
Where are these guys' T-shirts? Where's their team spirit?
Very interesting.
Talking about team spirit, did you see how badly UCLA got their ass whipped?
Yeah, that was
God,
pretty
that was
bad.
embarrassing.
Pretty bad.
I mean, if you're a UCLA fan.
It was never even close.
No.
You limped in, huh?
Now, Mike is going to limp in here on the
Got a
button.
real rag. Okay, go.
And Trish checks.
Let's see if Mom knows her son.
And here we go to the flop. 3-5-6 with a couple of spades.
Interesting flop for Trish there. She's got overcards and a gut shot. Mike's got the same overcards. Not the same overcards, but also overcards and a gut shot as well. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He does not have an gut shot. I apologize.
Look at this. Trish is going to bet here with her gut shot.
Go Trish.
Mike folds. And again, if you're just joining us, we're doing a heads-up night tonight, Dave. Series of heads-up matches. These are the preliminary matches to determine the chip count in the final match. Of course, we did this once before a couple of weeks ago. Each player starts with $1,000 in cash, and the winner of each match basically wins $2,000 towards their team's starting chips in the final match.
Right, and if your team wins the final match, obviously,
Yeah.
everybody on the team, regardless of how you did,
Right.
wins money.
Right. Fold here. And we're going to move it up here to level 2. 10 and 20 blinds.
And I want to say Trish got an early lead there, probably up by about 50.
Yeah, I would say so.
Looks like Mo's putting everybody in.
And the button is moved over here to Mike.
He's got pocket. Actually, I'm sorry. Trish has pocket threes.
Mike's got 6-4 off suit, and he looks like he's going to raise. He's going to raise it up.
50 on the raise.
And it's a $50 raise here.
We chopped it when it was 5 bets. That was good.
And Trish is going to make the call.
Yeah, and we got
here
ace.
comes the flop, ace 10-10.
Now Trish has got two pair. Mike's got nothing.
But Mike, remember, Mike raised pre-flop in position.
It's only one overcard. I mean, and look at that. Trish is
going to check raise. She's going to check raise Mike here. Mike bet, and Mike's going to fold. And just like that, Trish has jumped out to a pretty quick lead.
You can't mess with your mom.
No.
You just can't beat mom. I tell you.
Hand 2 of level 2, and the button's going to move over there to Trish. And it doesn't look like Mike is too happy right now.
No, I mean, I've never seen Mike is so flabbergasted. He has no idea how to outplay his mother.
You ever played your mom in poker?
No.
No?
I've never played my mother in poker.
You're missing a lot of the action.
This is interesting.
Took another one down.
Mike has 4-5, and Trish has got
Another one
6-5.
bites the dust.
And Trish limps in on the button, and Mike checks. And both players have middle pair here.
Yeah?
But Trish has her out kicked. has him outkicked. Mike bets 50. Now, let's see how Trish plays it here, Dave. I mean, folding, just folding here would be really tight heads up, wouldn't it? I mean.
Yeah, now the only thing is, the interesting thing is that she's pretty much been having Mike's number the whole day. She might not want to run him over.
And she calls. Turn is an 8. She's still in the lead. Mike bets 125.
Now, if this goes to showdown, the odds are this will probably be a chop pot.
And Trish is going to raise here, Dave. So she smooth called the flop, and now she raises the minimum 125. And Mike makes the call. We've got close to about a $400 pot here. And the river is an 8, like you said, Dave.
No. Oh, it is going to be
It's
chop
going to be chopped up.
Shoot, I thought for a second.
No, the jack is going to play there.
Yeah.
And it just actually goes check, check. And they're going to chop this one up here. They're going to play pair of 5s and 8s for jack kicker.
Best 5 cards play, obviously, and Hold'em.
Yep.
Good hand, though.
Interesting smooth call on the flop and then a raise on the turn.
She's a pretty aggressive player. I like her play. Got to tell you. Very impressive.
So we're moving into hand number 3.
Trish 20, Mike
Level
10.
2.
Get a look at there of George Georgie in there, Greek poker god.
Yep.
Who is going to be playing on the side of Team Action, I want to say, and he is. And he'll be in the next match. Wow, look at this hand. Trish has got kings. 2 red kings.
And she's going to make it 50 to go, and Mike calls.
So the pot is $100.
All right, buddy.
Jack 4 deuce
Oh,
here with a
and
couple
Mike's got
clubs.
a pair.
Check.
And look at this. Trish checks, and Mike moves all in, and Trish has got her. She's going to make the call.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is so embarrassing for Mike, isn't it?
Turns a 3. Mike's got
He's got
some more
some
outs
outs, yeah.
now. He's got a 5, a 4, or a 6 would do it. Oh, and the river's a 5.
Oh, what a bad beat.
And Trish's stack dwindles down there.
Oh, what a bad beat. Oh, man. I mean, it's like she had him over her lap. She had the belt. She was about to beat her son. Oh, man. What a turnaround of events there.
Trapped her son.
Unbelievable.
She happened to have 2 red queens in there. It was 4 clubs in the board,
You
too.
got your son looking like a fool on camera.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, you
Can't believe that. Right. Fine.
And, yeah, that's just something that happens there, Dave.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, she was winning. She had won a couple of hands, so she still has probably $300 in chips. But suddenly now he's almost got her 5-1 in chips.
Yeah.
You know, and Mike sucked out last week, 2 weeks ago, to win his heads-up match, and it looks like he might suck out again today. Oh, and she just set him up perfectly. Jack High's still the best hand here, but Mike's picked up a straight draw.
Mike is going, but she's going to bet here, and she's going to take it down. Well, Dave, we have an email here from Rob Hunt. He says, this is an odd format, just get a nice chip lead and then refuse to enter any pots. Well, you can't necessarily really do that with our structure, can you?
Well, there's actually 2 reasons why you can't do it. First of all, we have an escalating structure where level 8, the blinds are actually 150 to 300.
Right.
The other reason you don't want to do it is whoever wins their match the quickest
Right.
gets to represent their team
And play
in
for
the
the
final
real
match.
money.
Right, and if you are the winner, you actually get more money than the other players who might have won also.
Right. That's right. We didn't mention that. We had mentioned it before, but you actually get
Probably about 30% more.
Yeah, 30% more.
So there is significant reason, obviously, to play hard, play fast, and keep playing hands.
I didn't, but I figured you'd take a stab.
Not only do you want to win this, but you want to win it quick.
And then I could up and over you.
I had a pair. I figured, well, she can't call us. She got a big hand.
Yeah.
She got a huge hand.
I mean, Mike might be in a position here where he wouldn't actually have to play another hand and he could win, but then he wouldn't represent his team.
Now Trisha's going to move all in here with King High, and she's going to take it down.
Hand 3 of level 3. Once again, it's 4 hands per level.
Yep.
8 levels in the match.
And these are the preliminary matches to determine the chip count.
Oh, she's got another big hand. All the money might go in here.
Well, Mike's got ace-4 of spades. She's got king-9 of diamonds.
Yeah, all the money might go in right here.
Mike's made it 125 to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a feeling.
And she's going to push all in, and Mike's going to call.
And she's not in terrible shape here. It's probably about about 60-40 here. Just a little bit more than a coin flip.
Oh, there's a king right in the door there, Dave. Trisha's got top pair.
Nice.
But Mike has a pair of 4s. The turn's at 10.
Neither player has hearts, obviously.
Mike needs an ace or a 4 here. The river is a 7, and Trisha's going to take it down there.
Yeah, the
pair of
fourth
kings.
heart does not mean anything there, obviously. Take it down, Trish, and she doubles up.
And obviously, Mo is rooting for Corporation Mike.
It's strange. Obviously, the team action normally wears black, but she decided to wear red.
Right.
And once again, Mo's Nuts normally wears red, but Mike is in black.
Yep.
Mike, a big Johnny Cash fan. Representing today. Representing the man in black. Mike with Jack high. Trish with Queen high here.
And Trish is going to make a limp in here on the button. And Mike is going to check it out of the blind. And here we go. Well, neither player's hit anything, hasn't, which often happens. And it goes check, check.
Oh, there's a Jack.
Jack for Mike. And Mike's going to bet it here. He bets 55, and Trish is going to fold.
I'm done with it.
And Trish's backup, look what Trish's got now. I mean, I want to say Trish's probably got about $700 now, right?
Yeah, she's not too far behind her son now.
Yeah, it's probably about, I want to say, probably about 2 to 1, right?
Yeah. The yellow chips are $5 chips. The purple chips are $25 chips.
Once again, you're watching Live at the Bike, and you're watching a no-limit, heads-up tournament, team style here.
Yeah. Looks like Trish has got a king-jack over there. Another pretty big hand. And Mike raises it up to 150. Well, now that Trish has more chips, she's going to just call here, Dave. See if
Try to trap him again, huh?
Is that what you think she's trying to do?
I'd imagine so.
Well, Mike's got a pair, though. It's bottom pair, a pair of 5s. And Trish is going to bet.
Wow.
She's going to bet 200. And Mike, Mike can't believe it. Could his mother make a move like this with just a couple of overcards? He makes the call here.
Well,
Maybe
huh?
he's going to try to see what happens on the next street. The turn's a 4. Now Mike's got 2 pair.
He's got 2 pair. He ain't going anywhere. And Trish is actually drawing dead.
But it looks like she might bet again here. I have a feeling that Mike is going to instantly go all in here, Dave.
Check.
Nope, she checks. And Mike moves all in. And there it is. And Trish is obviously, she's put her kind of herself in a tough spot here, Dave, by not.
I have 2 overcards.
Well, she did have 2 overcards. But she can't really even beat ace high here. She can't beat any pair.
She's actually trying to figure out if Mike just has Queen high, though, or Jack high himself.
Can I ask for my team help here?
And we cannot ask for your team help because it is the preliminary round.
Right, now in the final match, obviously, it's kind of like you said. It's Family Feud style. You have a team leader. The one who wins their match the quickest is your team leader.
What's that, 5s? 6s?
Do you think Trish was the kind of mom that used to spank Mike?
Show me if you have nothing.
I'm sure we can find that information
I mean,
out.
can you
Both
imagine,
parties
like-
are here.
Can you imagine like a 3-year-old Mike? You think he was bald then too? I'll have to ask her. She has the button here, and she's going to just lay it down. She's only at 8 high.
Yep, she's going to fold. And as always, Dave, it seems that there's like a little controversy on the internet board. Looks like our thread will be moving back over to No Limit Hold'em mid and high stakes.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought there was a heads-up section.
there is a heads-up section, but apparently
We can't get in there?
that's for limit, I guess.
And there's no limit heads-up section?
Apparently
You know
not.
what's amazing? That just says what this show is all about. There is no heads-up, no limit section.
Now look at this. Mike's got pocket 5s. He's going to raise, and Trish has ace-king.
Yeah.
And all the money's going in here.
And this is pretty much a coin flip, folks.
Yeah, classic race.
About 54-46 here.
Oh, looky there.
Mike's got a small lead, but not much.
And here we go to the flop. Oh, king in the door right away again.
Yep, and he's got the ace of diamonds, and she's got the ace of diamonds as well, just in case.
Turns a queen. Mike needs a 5 here and a 5 only. And the river's a 7.
And Trish doubles up again.
Yep.
And I want to say after when she lost when she bluffed before, probably knocked her down to about 500. I want to say right now she probably has close to 1,000 again.
Yeah.
Right back where we started, huh?
Well, I mean, does it come into play how, obviously it comes into play how low or how high your pair is heads up. Pocket 5s, I mean,
Pocket 5s, I pick up ace.
it just almost seems like a type of thing where even if you are heads up, Dave, you obviously can move with it, but can you make big calls with something lower than pocket 5s? I think might be the median point there. Can you make big calls with pocket 3s? Because you're hoping only to be a coin flip, right?
Yeah. Once again, I mean, I don't really want to call all in to pocket deuces, pocket 3s, pocket 4s, probably even pocket 5s. Now, when you start getting the 6s or 7s or 8s, you might be up against ace 4 or ace 3.
Right.
And in that case, then you can make a call sometimes.
Because obviously, if you're just up against one overcard, you're in really good position there.
And they're right about even here. We're right about 1,000 each. She might even have a little bit more.
Look at this. Mike is going to move immediately all in here with queen 9.
Well, Mike's got no patience. Come on, I mean, we're only at, what level are we at now? Level 4?
Right.
We're at level 5. Okay, the blinds are only 50-75. They got still plenty of poker to play. Yet he's just pushing the envelope,
Yeah, no.
Well, he doesn't want to lose to his mom.
Oh, come on. Whether he wins or loses, it's already been an embarrassment. Let's be honest. Mike's a nice guy. I love him and everything. But it's already been an embarrassment. Come on, he already sucked out on her once. He should have lost.
Well, there isn't much right here. Deuce 3 against 6-10.
I mean, let's be honest. He had to suck out just to keep it going this long. She's completely outplayed him today.
Limp check here. Queen 7-9. And no one has anything here. Let's see if Trish is going to put a bet here on the button. He's going to bet 100. Now, Mike did have a gut shot to the 8 there, right, Dave? But he check folded.
Trish is just... She is playing him like a fiddle. I tell you, there are two people I never want to play poker with. One is my wife, and one is my mother. Because you can't lie to these people. They know you better than you know yourself.
Mike's got ace-10 here. And he's going to move all in here again. And Trish is going to fold. Well, it takes all the play out of it, Dave.
I think Mike is scared to play a flop with her. He thinks she's going to outplay him.
Yep.
Once again, if you want to play in this format, you can. All you need to do is come down to the Bicycle Casino. We're 10 miles south of Los Angeles. And you can bring your own, 4-person team, and you can challenge one of the teams that we have here.
Now, normally, I believe we're trying to put this game on Tuesday nights because we want to keep our limit game on Mondays, but this week just didn't happen in that manner.
75.
Boy, I mean, limit game is just getting bounced around all over the place, isn't it? Or we might switch limit to Tuesdays.
Or make
we're trying to keep some consistency.
Obviously, we know Monday and Tuesday. We try to keep Monday and Tuesday open.
Right.
And obviously, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is kind of a set schedule right now.
And Mike is going to fold here, and Trisha's got a little suited connector. She's going to take it down.
Oh, Mike was in bad shape there.
Again, we're pretty close to even in chips here between the mother and the son in this heads-up format.
And I'll tell you, look at Trish. She's the sweetest woman. She's so nice. And she plays a mean game of poker, huh?
Now, this is an interesting level here, though, Dave, this level 5, 50-75. Would you ever fold the small blind here?
And
actually, we're actually in 75-150 now.
We're up to level 6 right now.
Wow. And I believe that
Trish folded and she gave it to Mike. Yes.
But during that 5th level at 50-75...
So you're in for 50 and you're on the button. Now you could probably throw in 25 regardless.
Yeah,
because you're throwing in one chip to win, say, 5 chips.
Right.
Now, big hand, Trish's got ace-jack.
Yeah, ace-jack. And Mike's got the button here. He's got 10-5 of diamonds. And it looks like he limps in. And let's see if Trish is going to raise.
And she's moving.
Yeah, and Mike folds. And there we go.
I gotta tell you, my money's on Trish. Although Mike is so lucky, such a lucky guy.
And we're up to hand 4 here in the 75-150 Level 6.
And I tell you, if Trish wins this, it's going to give a huge advantage to the team action there. Because Peter's already won. They're already 2,000 chips up on that.
Absolutely. Well, Trish has got 9-3 offsuit here, and this is one of these hands you're just going to fold here. She's going to fold.
Well, this round at the list level at 75, 150.
So the move, we're up to level 7 now.
Yep.
1 and 200.
Now this is already Peter won it on the 16th hand, which was the fourth hand of the level 4. Now we're already in level 7 here, so obviously, if Trish were to win this match, Peter would still be the representative for team action.
Right.
Trish cannot represent her team, and there is significant importance to that, obviously, because Peter will win more money.
And look at this. Mike moves all in with 8-4 offsuit. Trish has got an ace. She's got ace 5.
And it looks like she's calling.
And she's going to call him. Mike has more chips. Again, like you said, Mike seems to be a little bit light on the patience.
Once again, Trish gets in there with the best of it.
Oh, look at that. Mike's got a pair of 8s. Oh, it's an ace. Wow.
Nobody's got a club.
In really great shape now, and the river's a queen. What a turn card.
There you go. And Trish doubles up again, and I think Trish has almost got all of his chips. Not quite, but almost all of them.
Are we ahead right now?
Unbelievable.
You're almost ahead. Yeah, you're ahead.
Mom's ahead right now.
Yeah, I'd say she's probably got him now 3-1 in chips.
No, I was a favorite going in.
Yes, you were.
290.
I don't remember those times, Mike. Do you?
Well, he's talking about favorite when he had pocket 5s and she had ace king.
Oh, yeah.
like 50-50. He's a huge favorite. How about the times where he got in there with a pair of 3s or whatever and she had pocket kings?
Right.
You have an ace.
I mean, I got to tell you, she's schooling him.
Just need to stay ahead the one more level. We auto.
Man.
And then it's whoever
6 more hands.
Oh, I see.
I mean, it's bad enough to lose to a girl, but you're losing to your mom. Man, you can never live that down.
Unbelievable.
Is your wife listening to this broadcast?
I hope she is. Yeah. Like I said, I would never, ever challenge my mother or my wife.
Man, I haven't looked.
You just can't do that.
Now, Trisha's got an ace here. She's got ace 3.
Well, he's got a pretty good hand, too.
Mike's
He's got
got
jack 10 spades.
And Trish moves all in, and Mike calls. And this is pretty close to 50-50 right here, David.
Yeah, she's a little bit of a favorite, but
Tiny bet.
Ace.
Oh, no.
And a jack comes on the door.
No,
Trish's got a pair of
3.
3s.
No, nothing. 9.
Turns a queen.
Oh!
And I think that's going to do it there, Dave. She
And-
wins.
yes, the second match of our team No Limit Hold'em tournament is over. Mom wins.
Wow.
Trish wins there.
That team also.
And she wins in hand 2 of level 7, so that was 26 hands into it.
Yep. So Peter is still the representative of
Team action.
Team Action.
But Team Action has got a big 4,000 chip, a 2-0
Now,
chip.
did we ever get confirmation of how many players are on each team right now?
Brian. Yeah, he's got.
Because if we've got, if it's 8 people total,
It is.
so they've taken a quick 2-0 lead there, Dave.
Yeah, it is going to be 4 matches, 4
And most
preliminary
gonna,
matches.
I mean, most team needs to win at least one match,
win,
right?
It's gonna be over. Mike,
Mo wants to
I
run
have
it
some
back
people
up.
here.
And-
They wanna play heads up with you if you want.
So we're going to see
Yeah.
George here
You
against
guys
a
can
new
play
player. I don't know
more
if we've seen this player on the
than
show
4.
I've never seen him on the show, actually.
Brian
but
McCann.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with him, Brian McCann.
Yeah.
And he's a tournament player, and he does have some, heads-up, no-limit experience. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays.
Well, you know how tight George plays, so it's always going to be interesting if George can adjust his game.
But Mo's nuts. Down 2 matches to nothing. They're in bad shape. They need this one bad. And we are at level 1, hand 1 of match 3, folks. And once again, you are watching Live at the Bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. And this is No Limit Hold'em. Heads up, baby. Now, a couple of big hands right away. Look at this. King Jack for Brian. And George has got an ace. And George smooth calls here. The pot's now $60 to the flop. Oh, there's a jack.
Wow, 2 jacks there, and Brian's got trip jacks. Let's see how he plays it.
George has got a flush
Nut
draw, though.
flush draw.
The nut flush draw.
He's going to bet.
And it's really tough. You know what? When a board like that, ace high looks pretty good, doesn't it?
He's going to bet 150 here. Let's see how Brian's going to play it.
I raise right away.
Even heads up, huh?
I think so. Let's get more money in the pot right away, and he does.
And Brian does raise.
It's all in.
And George moves all in. And then you got trip jacks, Dave.
That's
Are
why you do
kidding
it.
me?
That's why you do it. You see what happens is,
And he's going to make the call right away.
yeah, you see, you don't give him credit for a jack if he raises you right away, right?
Right.
That's why you play it fast.
You don't show your
Great play by Brian.
And Brian's got 3 jacks, and George has the nut flush draw.
Yeah. Wow, and George needs a heart and only a heart.
Turns a 6.
Oh, yeah.
And the river's a 10.
Wow.
Brian takes it down.
Well, and Brian wins at hand 1
Right.
of level 1. Look at that.
And that's going to be pretty difficult to beat, Dave, for,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Brian, and I tell you, Moe's Nuts, they needed that. They're like a shot in the arm there. They really needed that match. And suddenly it's 2-1 now, Team Action in the lead. And Brian McCann, huge win there. Wow. Hand 1, and clearly, obviously, he is going to be representing Team Action. I'm sorry, Moe's Nuts in the final match.
Well, there's no way he can't, right?
I mean, somebody else could tie him, I suppose.
I guess they would high card then for the player.
Yeah.
No.
You missed it.
Really impressive showing there. Well, for anybody new here, why don't we explain once again what is going on?
Okay, what's going to happen is...
Well, of course, I mean, basically, we're in the preliminary rounds right now. And I'm trying to get confirmation. Is it only 3 players there, Dave?
Correct. Now they're going to play the money against the money, so...
So we are actually going to go into the final match right now.
Okay,
So
well,
we're
great.
only playing 3 matches. So Moe's team is going to start with
2,000 in chips.
2,000 in chips. And Peter is going to start with 4,000
Yeah,
in chips.
Team Action starts with 4,000 chips.
So we only had 3 players on each team.
I think a couple of players got stuck in traffic, that infamous LA traffic,
Yeah.
and aren't here yet. We actually had 5 players per team, to be honest with you, before the show started.
Uh-huh.
But I guess a few players are stuck in traffic right now. So right now we actually have Team Action with 4,000 in chips, Moe's Nuts with 2,000 chips, and we go right back to level 1.
Maybe 45 minutes. Maybe more.
And this is a no-limit hold'em heads-up tournament match here,
It's not going
folks.
to take 45 minutes.
No.
Put them on the table, man. We're about to play.
Peter. Because live at 5.
And Peter's got that mohawk going. Now it's interesting. I actually seen Peter. He's come in with he had dark hair, and then one day he decided to dye it. But instead of dyeing all of his hair, he dyed it like polka dot. So he dyed his hair like bleach blonde and left black polka dots in his hair. Really odd.
I can force it.
Really nice guy, I got to tell you, Peter. He's very strange.
And if they don't want it,
You can't make a phone call. No, you can step away.
yeah, go ahead. We're not playing yet.
Yeah.
And once again, we are playing a heads-up, no-limit hold'em tournament.
Right.
Team
it's gonna
style.
Be 4,000 chips for Peter starting, and 2,000 chips for Brian.
Yeah.
Starting off.
One of them sat down. One of them sat to the other.
And Dave, I was planning on playing Corporation Mike heads up, and that's still going to happen at some point. But,
Yes. I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, but I want to get it so that everyone knows it's going to happen. And I
Right.
didn't want to do it on such
Make it a
short
big,
notice.
make it a big event, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, right now we have our Ho Ho Hold'em tournament going on, and today, Monday, December 5th, we have a $300 plus $40, $300 limit Hold'em tournament. Starts at 7:15, and our Monday to Friday tournaments are always at 7:15. Our Saturday and Sundays are 4:15.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that's kind of cool, guys, Saturday's tournament, which starts at 4:15, it's a $100,000 guaranteed no limit Hold'em tournament, and for $200 you get in there. It's a multi-rebuy tournament. You can get. They're actually giving away the poker pads.
Really?
Check this out, guys. Very cool. It is the poker pads. You can get one. Everybody who enters the tournament gets one of these.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
And you can also go to our website and check this out, though. You can go to PokerPads through our website.
Yeah,
Just-
and
just
it's,
click on the link.
Kind of cool. It's you can practice shuffling your chips, and it's also a mouse pad, obviously.
Right. And it's like, a little, while you're playing internet poker.
Yeah, if you're playing internet poker, it's a nice way to play.
They're gonna give you
You know? I mean, I personally, when I'm playing at home, I miss shuffling chips.
Right.
Kind of makes me feel at home.
So these guys are jockeying for position now. Again, it's Peter, against Brian, but you can get help from your teammates, Dave.
Yeah.
And we are.
And I got to tell you, I really love the way Brian played that hand. Like you were saying, you don't want to slow play it. And I was like you and I always say, you play something fast that nobody ever gives you credit for the real hand.
Right.
You know?
And we are probably going to shuttle in probably either a 3 to 5 or some $200 game right after this is done.
Yeah.
This went really quick, Dave.
Pretty exciting. Well,
Yeah. We're still. This is kind of new. We're still trying to work out all the kinks.
Well, the
and fit it
funny-
into
yeah.
time-wise,
The funny thing is, it's interesting. Heads up, obviously, you can't control how long these are going to go. It can go one hand, or obviously, like we saw Mom beat Mike in 27 hands.
Right.
We also, obviously, are kind of a slave to the LA traffic.
Right.
Unfortunately, we want to show start our show at 6 o'clock Pacific time. But unfortunately, some people work, and it is tough to get here by 5:30, 5:45.
Right.
And while you and I are obviously on the clock and get here for work, these people, it's not their work. So.
So I guess we're waiting on Brian over there. I don't know if he went to the bathroom or what.
Want to do 15 minutes of each level?
So, and we might, Dave, I think I heard from Mo there that maybe he might set up some other heads-up matches after this too.
Well, that's what we did a couple of weeks ago. What was really exciting a couple of weeks ago, we had a team tournament, and then Avo played against Simon in a series of 3 heads-up matches, which Avo beat Simon 2 out of 3.
Right.
And what's always interesting is I know I have some experience playing heads-up on like sit and goes on the computer, but it's really hard to get. It's very rare that you get to see hole cards heads-up.
Right.
Cash game.
Yeah, there are several internet poker poker rooms that actually spread like heads-up tournaments.
Yeah, they're
You know
great.
what I mean?
But rarely do you get to actually see the hole cards where you can learn from it and be entertained. It's really fabulous.
5,100. For how many hands or how
So
much?
again, we're starting with 5-10 blinds here.
No, we're going to start with 550. You want to do 15 minutes or you want to do 10 hands? Or you want to do...
Well, now I'm getting word that it might be different here.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to start the blinds at 25-25.
They sell you 200 in there.
No, I need these. You're good. You don't know. We'll play 25-50.
Yeah, I really think the blinds should be started at 25-25.
Yeah, I agree with you. Or
Yeah,
smaller.
give them a little playability here because
Yeah.
they only have 4,000 and 2,000 chips. And that'll really make some interesting poker. And then obviously we'll move the blinds up to 25-50 after
Right.
that.
Right.
And the blinds will be raised every 15 minutes.
Right.
Don't destroy the yellows.
Well, can you go
Well.
to the Evelyn real quick?
And they're racking up their chips here.
Well, they're going to rack up the yellow chips. They have too many yellow chips on the table, and we're going to get rid of some of those yellow chips and put some more purple on there.
Yeah.
But Peter's in good shape here. He's obviously got Brian 2-1. Team Action has got Brian, got Mo's Nuts out chip 2-1, 4,000 chips to 2,000 chips.
Purple.
But really interesting to see how Brian plays. I can't say much about Brian's play. I only saw him play one hand.
Right.
So-
He raised with the 3 jacks, which you liked that move. So again, they colored up the yellows there.
I know. Right there.
And again, if you want to follow a live thread that's started on the internet, you go to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums, and go over there to, well, now Texas Hold'em high stakes, pot, and no limit hold'em. So there it is.
There we go. And so the blinds are going to start at 25-25. We're going to have 15-minute levels.
Right.
Then the next level will be 25-50. So we'll really get some playability here.
Yep.
Now, Peter's obviously got plenty of chips. He's got 4,000 chips to play with. While Brian there, representing Mo's Nuts, he's only got 2,000 chips.
Right. Again, those purple chips are $25 chips.
Yeah, we got rid of the yellows. Obviously, they don't no need for them. Starting out at 25-25.
Now, recently, the way that George has played on the show, is he the Greek poker god or is he the Greek demigod, Dave?
But I saw him before the show, and he actually told me, he actually said that he was playing like an ass lately. He admitted, he said, I've been playing so bad lately, I don't know what I'm doing. And it was interesting, he actually watched the archives and saw Friday's show, which I know you did solo.
Right.
And he said that you were 100% correct in your criticism of him. And he really appreciated it.
I don't really remember. What did I say? I think that he almost placed too tight in that big game.
Well, that's what
I
he
think.
said, that you told him he was a little predictable,
Right.
and you kind of knew where he was at. And when he watched the game, he agreed with you 100%.
Well, I think one of the issues was that if he raises, he pretty much has jacks, queens, or kings, or aces, because he doesn't raise with ace, king, or any other holding.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, you put him on a range of 4 hands when he raises pre-flop.
Yeah,
So that's how Barry Woods was able to get away from queens on a ragged board. We actually had a situation where he actually got away from an overpair
Against
on
George.
a ragged flop against George.
And what did George had aces and Barry had queens?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
That's huge. Yeah, obviously you've got to mix it up a little bit. And I'm not saying you got to raise with 4 or 5, but you got to raise with ace jack, ace queen, ace king sometimes too. Even king queen sometimes.
Right.
I thought it was 25.50.
25.50 is what it is.
Put another 25.
25.50.
And you start 510 at the last level, so now you start 5 times that.
25.50.
I know. Last one at 510. You're gonna start this one 5 times more than that.
Yeah, but you have more chips than you started last time. Yeah, but
The question is, are they ever going to start it?
Well, that's what we're waiting
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
Once again, you're watching Live at the Pike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hanson. We're playing No Limit Hold'em Heads Up, folks. The preliminary matches have already been done. Team Action has 4,000 chips. Moe's Nuts has 2,000 chips. A little bit of confusion today. I do apologize for that.
And here we go. We're going to see the first hand there. So here it is. Well, Peter's got 3-4 offsuit here on the button, and he limps in. And Brian's got an 8-9 offsuit, and he's going to check it.
Yeah. And to the flop here.
Well, no one's picked up a pair here. Queen,
No.
10-5. And Peter's going to bet.
Well, you know, yeah, Brian checked it to him, and Peter's going to take it away, I bet.
Well, he's got a gut shot to the jack there,
What did
dude.
Mo say? I forgot to even ask my team.
You can ask them.
I even forgot.
The problem here sometimes, too, when you go for, you know, like, I probably wouldn't make a call here with 8-9, because if you hit a jack, the chances are Peter doesn't have anything
I didn't even ask
anyways.
my team. I just
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Brian calls.
He might only have a 5, exactly.
you don't have to ask us.
Turns a 5.
Well, if he has a 5, he's got trip 5s.
Checks. And let's see what Peter does here.
Well, Peter's got a chip advantage, and I think he's going to use it.
Yeah, he's just going to bet. He's not even asking the players on his team. And he takes it down. And, you know, this type of situation is, you know, geared towards Peter. I mean, he's very aggressive.
Well, especially
He's
he's
got
got
a chip lead.
He's got, yeah, exactly. With the chip stack he has, and it's over a 2-1 advantage now, he really should be able to use that and take advantage and win this.
Yeah, it's coming. How does it work, by the way, the money when it's coming? It's just, you hate it when I'm right. I don't know why.
Raise 100.
We got a $100 raise here by Peter. He's got pocket jacks.
Oh, he's got a real hand here.
And Brian's got ace deuce.
It might go all in right here. This might go all in right now. I wouldn't be surprised.
Really?
You never know. Remember, it's Mike and Mo behind him. I mean, I'll put it this way, if it was Mike, if Mike had his say, he'd move all in, wouldn't he?
Why, you guys are scared? What happened?
I
Can you put your cards in there? Psychologically, you're scared.
Well, ace deuce offsuit against pocket jacks here.
He's the captain.
Captain, you're going to muck, right? I'm just going to muck it.
And Brian's got folded, Dave. Wow, that's really tight heads up.
Wow.
With a single ace.
And Mo and Mike were telling him to move all in.
Right.
And he said, forget moving all in, I'm folding.
Wow.
But hey, it was a good laydown.
Yeah, it was.
It would have been sore.
They might
Very
confuse
sore.
They were confusing you.
No, you could have.
Unbelievable.
Time for you guys to grab the ankles.
You guys would have been out of here before you saw the first 2 cards.
Wow.
And, yeah, I mean, I guess he made the right read, right, Dave?
You know what that's interesting, though, is if you're on the button with an ace high,
Right.
why not call?
Push it all
I mean, I
in.
got to tell you, if I'm Peter, I'm going to raise every single hand then.
Both of them always say.
Well, Peter just limps in here and Brian checks. And here we go to the flop. Oh, Brian's got a straight draw. And he gets checked over to Peter, and he checks, turns a 3. Now Peter has a pair.
Yeah?
Bet 100.
And now Brian's going to bet 100. But you got to think, so, you know, if you're Peter, you picked up a pair here on the turn.
Yeah, would he check a pair on the flop? That's the question.
And Peter just calls. And the river here is
an
an
8.
8, and that's a safe card, right?
It doesn't change anything. I mean, the only worry is that did Brian have a 5? Well, and that kind of says there's no way he's going to bet a 5 there.
Well, he bets 300.
I don't believe that. You know what I mean? You got to start thinking of the holdings. The only thing he's going to bet on the river there is an 8. I don't think he bets an ace. I don't think he bets a 5. Or, you've got to bet either an 8 or a bluff. And look at Peter.
Well, do you think he would have
conferring.
checked an 8 on the flop, though? That's
the
issue.
question, exactly. But now you got to look at it and go, he's not going to bet a 5 on the river here, is he?
Wow, and Peter's going to fold.
Yeah?
You guys, I can't show them a bluff, can I?
Well, of course you can't show him a bluff because you don't have a bluff.
I know you didn't bluff.
Oh, and he does show a bluff. And now Peter is going to lose. I think Peter might get a little bit angry now at some of his teammates because I think he wanted to make that call.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Peter's real aggressive. He's got like these 2 conservative angels on each side of his shoulders,
Right.
I had the best hand.
flapping their wings.
9 high wasn't good?
10 high was good, and my pair was good.
George and I gave him that to play like.
No, wait a minute.
I had a pair.
Threw a pair away?
I threw a pair away.
Oh, Peter, stop it.
I did see that. I'm sorry.
Look at Brian. You threw a pair away. Brian threw away ace high before the flop.
They're in the window.
It's limp here, I believe. And here we go, 7-10 against 8-9.
Well, there's a 10. Peter's got top pair.
He has got top pair now. Now look at this. Peter checked it, and Brian checked right behind him. Turns a king. And Peter's playing a trapping game right now.
I guess so.
And Brian's not falling for it. And Peter's checked again.
Well, you wanted the trap, and then at this point, now the king and the queen have fallen. That can even bet it. Can you get called by a 6 or a 4?
I think that if you're Brian here, I think this is a time just to pick a better spot. Would you want to try to fire here and take it down? No. Yeah, and Peter was trying to play a trap there.
They're trying to induce a bluff there. Didn't work, though. And I got to tell you, if Mo or Mike, I would have thought that Mo or Mike would have wanted them to be representing. But if they represented, they might have moved in with that ace high.
Right.
This thing could be over already.
Right.
Look at our chips.
Yeah, but the thing, though, about that ace high, though, I mean, the thing about, I understand what you're saying, it is a difference between moving in. But the thing about something like ace deuce or ace 3, and didn't Chris Moneymaker make a pre-flop call one time with ace deuce all in?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Final
what does
table.
that beat?
I thought that was a terrible play.
I know. I mean,
It was against, what's his name, that big fat guy.
yeah, exactly.
Well, there's a deuce for Brian. He's got a bottom pair, obviously.
Goes check here. Turn is an ace. That Swedish guy. He was chubby and he was Swedish.
Yeah.
And Brian
Peter's
checks,
good,
and now
yeah.
Peter bets 200.
You're going to try to take it away from him. And Mo believes him. Mo's been wrong every time so far.
And Mike says he doesn't believe him.
That's great. Look at you, get the devil on one side and the angel on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, when you start making calls with ace deuce, I mean, that's almost as bad as making calls with pocket deuces and
Yeah.
pocket threes.
If anybody
right?
remembers, I think it was the 2003 World
right.
Series.
Right.
Five players left. He moves all in with Jack 10, and Moneymaker calls with ace deuce.
Right.
And you're going, at best, you're like a 5% favorite.
Right.
You know,
I mean, and look at that. Brian folded, and Peter took it down there at 10 high.
I thought that was a terrible call with ace deuce. But heads up, though, $100 raise, you have a position on him. Why not?
He said if he has the ace, he didn't
like the kicker.
doesn't have ace.
And the button moves over there to Brian. I mean, you just look at what ace deuce can beat heads up. I mean, it's
Well,
just...
what are you rooting for?
Yeah.
I'm saying he was trying
I rarely like to play a hand where I don't know what I'm rooting for.
Good play.
Do I want an ace or do I want a deuce?
Look at this. Peter's got ace king here. But the button folds.
Yeah, he only had 8 high,
Yeah.
and it was 8 deuce.
Nice takedown.
Peter had the ace king.
Yeah.
He actually was playing Dave in a satellite, the World Series of Poker, where a guy, I pretty much moved all in. I was on the short stack with pocket threes. And a guy in the button re-raised everyone out of the pot with ace deuce. And I loved it.
They're like, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good protection.
Right.
We're at level 4 here. We're actually jumping right into 25, 50 blinds now.
They don't believe it.
And Peter's got a king 10 of clubs. And he's going to raise it up here.
He's gonna make
And I got to tell you, if I'm Peter with that chip lead, I'd be raising almost every single hand.
Is Brian going to call with 8 deuce suited here?
Funny, he just threw away 8 deuce. And he's going to throw it away.
Yeah, I got to tend to agree with you, especially against a guy that plays, semi-tight, Dave.
Yeah, why not take advantage of your chip stack?
I'm not going to show you.
You haven't showed.
I showed the 9-7.
Now, these guys are actually playing. I mean, it seems like a lot of fun, and obviously it is fun. People are having a good time. But these guys are playing for $6,000.
Yeah.
And just so you know how the breakdown is, I believe if Team Action wins, Trish will win $1,500, George will win $1,500, and Peter will win $3,000.
Wow, look at this. Peter's got pocket kings.
He's getting monsters.
And he's going to raise it up.
And I imagine Brian called at Jack 10 here.
Brian did call. Oh, and Peter's got top set now, Dave. But Brian actually is going to bet 100 with his gut shot. He bets 150. Flop is King 8-7. And Peter could lose here if a 9 came, right?
Yeah.
Now, he is out of position, I believe, as well. So how is he going to play this hand? The turn is an 8.
And
Peter
Peter
checks again.
Yeah, Brian's drawing dead. If the
And
9 comes, he's going broke.
And the river here is a deuce.
I got to tell you, Brian almost, Brian got the free card to go for it.
Bet 275.
Peter's going to bet 275 here.
And now Brian can't beat anything now. That's the problem. He's got Jack high.
And boy, would this be ill-timed if he chooses to think that Peter's just making a bluff here on the river.
And once again, obviously, if same thing were to happen, if Mo's nuts were to come back and Brian were to win, Brian would win $3,000, and Mo and Mike would each get $1,500. So they're playing for some real money here.
Right.
And obviously, you want to be the team leader because you win $3,000 as opposed to your teammates which only get
Okay,
$1,500.
I don't have anything.
Big difference.
Oh, I don't have anything, but he has something.
Who has something?
You.
So let's see what Brian's going to do
Quad
here.
eights.
Quad 8s.
I know. Could be.
Yes.
You guys have something.
Quad 8s.
And is Brian thinking of making a move?
Well, that's what I said. It would be an ill-timed move, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you touch that hand?
I don't know what he's thinking about here. He obviously
I
can't
don't think
really
Brian
do
has the
anything.
stamina to play these long matches. He can only play one hand at a time. He's good for about a hand or two, and that's it.
What are we to do? We're in for 300. What do you want?
275, George. Let's not stress.
And I got to tell you, I love watching the heads-up team No Limit Hold'em tournaments here. I would be really interested in just watching a cash heads-up No Limit game as well.
Yeah, and there it is.
And obviously, I'm really interested in watching when you play Corporation Mike in a heads-up tournament. And I got to tell you, watching the way Corporation Mike has played, I'm thinking of playing it myself. I got to
You're
tell
not a
you,
fan of his play?
I got to tell you, I love the way Mike plays. And he's really effective when he's playing 4 or 5-handed, but he almost plays a little too impatient heads up.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to move in with those garbage hands, I mean, you can almost wait around for a hand with an ace in it and make a call all in pre-flop, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just,
it's interesting. I mean, if he gets a big hand, he can get lucky
Right.
on you, but
Peter limped in there on the button. Brian raised, and Peter took it down.
They've taken a vow
blinds are 25-50 here, folks.
Look at the audience here.
Yeah, people start gathering around when these guys are playing tournament heads up. I mean, heads up is just such an exciting thing. It's, mono, man versus man, woman versus woman. It's just, clash. I love it.
Dave, tonight's Monday Night Football, whoever would have thought that Seattle would be a favorite going into Philly at the beginning of the season here for this game tonight?
Yeah, well, with Mike McMahon at quarterback, what do you expect from Philly? Seattle's actually, they're going for home field throughout right now.
Right. Hasselback, the days of, I remember him from Boston College.
I know.
Oh, Matt Hasselback.
He was a
actually.
chump then. I still think he's a chump.
He's a heck of a quarterback. Had a great season. He's actually, they've got what might be a Super Bowl preview. They play the Indianapolis Colts in a couple of weeks.
That is going to be a good game.
And that might be our future Super Bowl. Who knows? 9-4 here for Peter on the button. He's going to raise it.
Well, why not? Now, Brian's got Jack 7, and he's short in chips now.
Like I said, I would raise.
And he folds.
At this point now, I think the chip, I want to say it's 3-1 in chips. And I would imagine you'd be raising almost 3 out of every 4 hands.
Right.
Put the pressure on him.
And you can take a look at those are $500 stacks right there.
And he's got 4,500 right there.
Yeah.
And
Which means Brian's got about 1,500,
15.
right?
So we're talking 3-1.
Yeah.
Brian in bad shape.
Well, I can see that Brian has an ace here. Ace 10 suited, Dave, on the button. Pretty big hand.
Yeah.
But Peter doesn't have much. He's got deuce 9. And Brian just limped in on the button.
Yeah, he's trying to trap him,
He's trying to play a trap here.
Problem is, heads up, it's tough to trap somebody because how do you know they're going to get anything?
Well, look at this. 3-4-7. Goes check, check. The turn's a 10. Now Brian has top pair.
Yeah,
Peter's checked again.
Peter's drawing dead.
And Brian's bet 100, but look at this. Peter's going to make a move now. He's going to make it 400. He doesn't believe that Brian has anything. And this is ill-timed here by Peter.
Now, who has the button?
Brian. Peter made the check raise on the turn here.
I got to tell you, why not just smooth call and let him bet again then? I mean, the whole point of trapping with the ace-10 is to let it trap. Let him bet
Peter's
into it.
drawing dead here, right, Dave?
Exactly.
He's drawing dead.
And he's just going to call, and let's see if Peter fires again.
Well, here we go to the river.
There you go.
River's a
Peter's going to
7.
have to fire again to win this pot.
Now, could
obviously.
that scare you, though, if you're ace-10?
No, at this point, you're committed. He's only got 600 chips left. Right? Where's he going to go?
Peter check raised the turn. And that now Peter's going to check. And now if you're Brian, do you think that Peter ever would try to trap you here with a 7? Not with the amount of chips you have left because you're committed to the hand,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. I mean, Peter just shut down. He said, you know what, I can't bluff this guy anymore. I'm
Classic
done.
card. Anybody got classic card?
And they're thinking about it for a while, but obviously there's not much here. He's going to probably bet about half a stack, I'd imagine.
Well, do you think something like Peter might have had something like 3-4 here, too?
Yeah. I think Peter pushes harder there. I don't think Peter shuts
Honey, can
down.
you get his classic card? He's playing.
To me, I mean, yeah.
And look at that. He just made a motion for chips, and Peter folded instantly.
Yeah, he didn't want to waste any more time.
Yeah.
Okay, the levels now are
I mean, to me, I'd almost put
75.
Peter on like 8-9, like he picked up a draw or something, you know?
75.
And the blinds are 50-75 now.
Now, this is the level that you talked about before, where the level, it's kind of an odd level. And if you're on the button and you're in the small blind at $50, it almost begs that you have to throw that one chip in there.
75. Yeah. Raise, make it 300.
And Peter's going to raise to 300. If Peter stays aggressive, he should take this down.
Yeah, he had a king there. Looks like Barry Woods is on the thread there, Dave.
Oh, good. Hi, Barry. How you doing?
The myth, the legend, B-Dub.
Heard he made a good laydown on Friday, Barry. Well done. Once again, you're watching Live at the Bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen, and we are playing No Limit Hold'em, heads up, tournament style here. The winning team here will get $6,000 divvied up among their 3 members.
And Dave, yeah, Russ McGinley's posted up here that fat Swedish guy was Tomer Benvenisti.
That's it.
Yeah. And look at this. Brian's got pocket queens here. But I don't think that Peter has anything. He's got 8-3 offsuit, and Peter's going to fold. And actually, you know, Russ McGinley on 2+2 actually brings up a good point, because I remember seeing this as well. That Moneymaker said in the ESPN final table commentary, you know, they dub over commentary. They did it with Raymer and they did it with Moneymaker. That he had a read on Benvenisti via a muscle twitch in his arm that he didn't have a hand. But like you said, what does Ace Deuce really beat, though?
I'm sorry. Bullshit. Are you kidding me? That is so ridiculous. What, he didn't have a hand? Like what, like Ace 5?
Right.
I mean, wouldn't the same muscle twitch come out if he had Ace 5 or Ace 7 or whatever?
Right.
I mean, come on. What is Ace Deuce really? I mean, do you really even want to take Ace Deuce up against King Queen or Jack 10?
Look at this. Brian did not raise pre-flop. Checked all the way down, and Brian's ace high is good here.
Yeah.
But I think that, yeah, and it just got checked, and he's going to expose the fact that he played it slow. So Brian is playing a little passive, a little trapping game.
Yeah, well, he's up to about 1,800 in chips now. He's gotten back a couple 300 there.
Yeah. It's easy when you got the nuts.
I'm all for a read on a muscle twitch, but I'm still not going to call it ace high. Actually, not ace high. Even if I have ace 8 or ace 9, it becomes a little bit of a better call. But ace deuce?
It's like you said. I mean, you can read the guy as weak, but don't you think the guy making a move with ace 3, he would read himself as weak as well? You know? I mean, are you kidding?
I mean, hey, who knows? In the first tournament of the
pocket
World...
4s? Pocket 3s?
In event number 2 of the World Series this year, actually, the one I finished in the money, I finished in 65th place. I was at a table with Scott Fishman, and I ended up moving all in with ace-4, and Scott Fishman actually called my all-in with ace-3. So
Now look at this. Peter made a bet here, and Brian called with, I guess, king high there.
yeah,
The river's a queen, and Peter's going to win there with a pair of threes.
yeah, he's got 2 pair there, 5s and 3s with an ace kicker. Now, in Scott Fishman's defense, I only had about 14,000 in chips, and Scott Fishman had 85,000 in chips. So he was looking to knock somebody out, but I still thought the call was somewhat questionable. I was wondering, I was like, wow, because I moved in, and he called me with ace-3. And amazingly, it wasn't a chop pot I actually wanted.
And he had limped in early position.
He
there
limped
with
in
ace-3.
first position with ace-3, and it got all the way around to me in a small blind, and I had ace-4, so I decided to just try to take it down there.
Now Peter has raised here. He's got ace-jack of diamonds. He's going to make it 275 to go. And Brian is going to fold.
Yep, blinds are 50-75, folks.
You're dying over there. I get the inside. Don't even answer. Tell them to call back later.
Now, all these players are in for $1,000, but if the black team wins, if Team Action wins, George, who's in for $1,000, will win $1,500, and Trish, who's in for $1,000, will win $1,500. Even though Trish won her match and George lost his match, it means nothing. But Peter, because he was the winner and won it faster, will win $3,000.
All in.
It's all in.
And Brian has made a raise here with queen 7, and Peter moves all in quickly with ace high, Dave.
And that's the aggressiveness you can do when you have a big stack. And he takes it down.
I was trying to dumb them up.
And Peter folds. Well, we saw ace-4 there. Kenna James, it wasn't his hand during the Legends final event here at the bike in August. He lost to Jack 10.
Yeah. Hey, all you can do is get your money in with the best of it.
The interesting thing about when you hold Jack 10 heads up is that it's not that big of an underdog to an ace with a kicker that's lower than a Jack or a 10.
Right.
And it's actually a favorite against smaller pairs like pocket deuces and pocket threes. Now, Peter has raised here to 275 with ace Jack, and Brian's going to fold.
And Brian is now down to about 1,300 in chips.
A lot of people don't realize that because pocket deuces against, say, something like ace king or ace queen, deuces is a slight favorite, right? But if you take a small pocket pair against Jack 10
Or
suited,
9-10, yeah.
Look at Mo. He's trying to come around.
that hand is actually favored over the pair.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the added straight possibilities and so forth.
Right.
And overcards are overcards. I mean, the fact that it's an ace and a king make no difference whether it was an 8 or a 9 or a 9 and a 10. It's overcards. You still got to hit your hands.
Oh my God.
And obviously you can make many more straights with Jack 10 or 8-9 or 9-10 than you can with ace king.
Limp here. Jack 4 against 10-6 of spades. Brian has the button. Well, ace king deuce.
Misses everybody there. Peter still in the lead with Jack high.
Turns a 7.
And oftentimes this is what happens. Jack high takes some things down.
And the river's a 10. Brian makes a pair here at the end.
Yeah.
And Brian does not bet
Wow,
the 10.
how do you not bet that? I gotta tell you, so you can make the argument that only a better hand will call you. I don't buy that, though. I gotta think that he's betting his king or his ace if he has that. Yeah.
Well, look at Peter, though. He's goading Brian now. Saying, see how it is when I'm in my blind and I just get a free ride all the way down to the end? But when I'm in the small blind, I make him pay for it. If anyone has the ability to see the LA poker scene, Dave, the next batch of episodes upcoming, if they can watch the interview that I did with Peter at the end on Friday night, some people would call him a little bit cocky.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a character. You know, he's a rising star in the poker, more of a cash player, but he is one of the best cash players out there right now.
Jack 4 against 10-4 here. Ace, Queen 8. And Peter's got a flush draw, and he's going to bet it. And he's going to take it
And he takes it down. And Peter's aggressiveness is taking over here. And I got to tell you, one thing about Peter is, you know, people watch tournament poker on, you know, and they get familiar with players like Raymond Davis and Howard Lederer. And
Has Raymond Davis ever been on TV, though? I mean,
Chris
you and I
Ferguson.
know him.
He's won a couple of big ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever been on TV.
He's a kind of a character. I mean, I like a lot of people in the poker world. I can't really say that I am a big fan of his, Dave.
But that's not what I was just saying. Well, Chris Ferguson, and those players have become stars because of tournament poker that's on TV. And obviously, if you look at players that like a Peter, who only plays cash games, he doesn't want to play tournaments. He has no interest in
Not even
it.
close to worth risking $100 for $400.
But he's a rising star on a on the on the cash circuit, so to speak.
Look at this. Brian's flop trip deuces, and he's going to bet right away on the button, but Peter doesn't have any piece of it. And Brian takes it
The
down.
problem is Brian's only betting when he has something, pretty much.
Yeah. Same hand, forehand.
And look at Mo and Mike. They almost. It's almost like their fate is sealed. I mean, they know. They don't look very
They
optimistic.
don't seem to be giving Brian any points.
No, they don't look optimistic at all.
Well, Brian's got king high here, king 8. And look at this. Peter's got, looks like an ace 9 or an ace 10 over there suited.
And pretty much Peter has raised every single time it's on his button.
I mean, if Brian's going to fold this hand, I guess he's just going to fold every hand, right?
We're allowed to help,
With
right?
king 8?
Or no?
I mean, if Peter has been raising almost every single time it's on his button, and I love it.
In Doyle Brunson's book, how he said how his friend would just blind away his whole stack.
Is that what I'm doing?
Look at Mike's mother making reference to Doyle Brunson and how you're just getting blinded off in your stack.
Yeah.
It's over now.
Trisha's razzing him too.
It's over.
Man.
It's over. Look who's here.
Brian,
Brian with
Brian
Brian.
Short.
You guys have
And
no
it's
chance.
Brian coming in the box. And hey, Peter's got an ace again here, Dave. Ace 6 this time.
Yeah, but he hasn't really been very.
Oh, wow. And Brian's got king 6 and he just limps. And is he just playing it slow?
And Peter's gonna pretty much. Brian limps him whenever he has a hand, and Peter raises every time he has a
And
hand.
Brian
I
calls.
just had to, I have to do something.
And Peter has Brian dominated here.
Oh, that's a big flop for him too. Look
Wow.
at
And Peter's going to move all in here.
Send it.
And Brian folds. And I
Well-
got to tell you, Brian's playing really passively now.
Yeah,
I mean,
he-
king 6.
that. Yeah, you can't play this passively when you're the short stack in a heads-up tournament. No way. He's representing Mo's nuts, and Mo's nuts are well, let's just say castration might start happening here.
I'm only
75.
Look at this. Peter's got an ace again. He's got ace 6.
I mean, he's been raising his button every single time.
And Brian's got a king. King 7.
Want to call all in with this?
No, Mike.
And look at he's just rolling right over him, Dave.
Yeah, and Mo was like, yeah, you got to call all in there. You got to do something.
It's all over, baby.
And I got to tell you, this is a great lesson. If you like playing heads up, or you like playing tournaments, and obviously you need some final table experience, where you're hoping to get heads up at some point. This is a great way to learn.
Well, Mike's got jack 9 of diamonds. And Peter's got 6-7, and Peter's just going to take a free ride here.
Yep.
Peter's got middle pair.
Pretty much Peter takes the free ride when he can get it.
Check here. Turns a jack, and Brian's got the best hand. Now Peter's going to bet 100.
I want to put the other one in, but I go on.
And Mo says, I'd go all in here. But Brian's just going to call.
And it's interesting. You wonder if that's a tell there from Mo, saying, I'd go all in.
And look at this. I think Peter moved. Did Peter move all in? Peter moved all in.
And Brian's going to call this,
You
isn't he?
got to call here, don't you?
Brian's going to call this, isn't he?
I think Mo said I'd call.
Brian doesn't have enough chips to get away from this, does he? He's only got about 600, 700 left.
And he says, I don't mind the call. Mike says, I don't mind the call. Mo says, I'd call. I can't even believe that he's even taking this long to make this
I got to tell you,
consideration.
if my teammates tell me to call, they want me to call, I'm thinking of calling, I'm going to call.
He's got second pair here. He's on the short stack.
They both check the flop.
I'm drying my hands for a handshake with you.
Talking about checker, he's good.
I'm saying, you guys have Jack 8. You can't beat Jack 8.
I'm drying my hands for a handshake.
You can't beat Jack 8. But they're both saying to go on in.
Yeah, because he may have just 1 3.
Yeah, 7.
Well, he's still thinking about it
Actually,
here.
well, look at that. He called him in a hand.
They have flush draw.
Can't have 3 yet. But I've got
He actually said he had a 7. Because I think he's got a 7.
Mo says I can't beat Jack 8, but that's actually not true because Brian can beat Jack 8.
Yeah.
This is interesting here at the end. I just can't imagine that you can fold here. I mean, what are you going to do?
I just don't think you have enough chips to fold this, do you?
No.
Come on, Brian. Lift up your skirt.
Your kilt, you mean, or your skirt?
Your kilt. I like that better. Much better. Lift up your kilt.
He looks like a Scotsman, doesn't he?
Oh, I think he's moving him in. I think he's moving him in.
There's a good chance he's grabbing.
I just...
He doubles up here. He's back in the game, to be honest with you.
But I got to tell you, the way that he's playing, I don't give him much of a shot against Peter.
Yeah. No, I don't either, but...
He's talking like he's grabbing.
I think he has a 7. Check the flop at 100 on the turn. If you had a jack, you said you would have raised.
You called on the jack.
Well, you
look
can
at
take
Peter.
a look at Peter there. He seems kind of relaxed.
He's a sexy, sexy guy, isn't he?
Chewing on some cud over there.
Yeah.
And Brian's still thinking about it.
I think Peter picked up some roadkill on the way to work. He's eating that. Chewing on some local roadkill. Picked up the 710 freeway.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of it, Dave. I'm surprised they haven't asked for a clock. I mean, we could have played 5 or 6 more hands now.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to a clock here.
And here we go. Well, he's still thinking about it.
All right, muck it. Let's go.
Do something. I don't care what you do.
And the Greek demigod is
And we're gonna get a
egging
clock
him on
here.
now.
What do you guys have?
Got about 20 seconds left here.
What do you guys
Count them down, everybody. 19, 18,
I don't care what you do.
17.
Unfortunately, Dave, they can't hear you out there, so.
In about 15 seconds, I'm going to go out there and muck his hand himself.
Possibly have.
We know what you got. What do I have?
Now, they are playing, I mean, this is for $6,000, folks. It's not like they're just playing for fun. And the winner of this, if Brian wins, he actually gets $3,000. Now, the loser, they get nothing. No plus.
Oh, he's going to make the call, finally.
We got a 9. That was pretty obvious.
And the jack is good.
Jack. 9
Like,
It's a flesh one. It's a flesh one.
can't imagine that. I think Peter's trying to figure out, why did you take so long to call?
Yeah. Amazing.
He's saying, how in the world would you ever muck that?
Wait. Limits go up.
And the limits are going to move up now. The limits are going to go up to 75, 150.
Yeah,
Now I really got to start playing poker here.
Again, though, I don't know really if Brian stands a chance the way that he's been playing.
Well,
And Brian is a tournament player, dude.
Well, look at this. Right away, he's not going to wait time. Peter's going to raise right away again with 7-5. Brian folds.
Yeah.
But is he a successful tournament player? That's the question.
Well,
Anybody can claim to be a tournament player. My wife's played tournaments. Big difference between being a tournament player and winning tournaments, though, isn't it?
do you consider yourself a successful tournament player?
I've had success in tournaments, but to say that I'm a successful tournament player would be lying, because I haven't played enough of them, to be honest with you. And until I win a bracelet, I don't consider myself successful at all.
Wow, ace-jack here for Brian. Peter's got deuce-8 offsuit.
I mean, the important thing, obviously, if you're playing tournaments, and this is pretty much a tournament, you've obviously got to change your game from a cash game. You can't play it.
And Brian didn't raise, and Peter's got a pair of deuces. But Brian's got the nut flush on. Peter's going to bet right away. He's going to bet 275
Now,
here.
Brian's got overcards.
Yeah, flop is 9-5 deuce, all spades.
Now, Brian's got 15 outs to the win here, a jack, an ace, or any spade.
And look at that, Mike's telling him, move all in, move all in.
All raise or go all in.
And I don't think that there's any way. Can Peter call, even if you think that the guy's doing it with a spade draw? Again, like you say, Dave, you're going to put the guy in the range of hands. You're not going to be a favorite, right? With deuce-8 here on this type of flop.
And I think Brian is moving all in. He's just going to double check one more time, make sure it's the ace of spades. And I think he's going to raise all in.
All in.
I don't think that you can call here if you're Peter, right? If you think that the guy even has a spade draw, he's got to have overcards to your deuce. And if he has any pair of nines, a pair of fives, you're already beat. You don't have a spade redraw in your hand. Brian's favored with 2 cards to come. There just isn't a whole lot that you're ahead of here.
Yeah, Brian's got 15 outs, which makes him a slight favorite. It's pretty much a coin flip.
But Dave, at best, that's what you're hoping against. Now he does have the chip lead, so maybe he thinks that he's got that. But again, though, if you put him on that hand 50% of the time, and any pair, any other 50% of the time, I just think it's too much to make this call.
The thing is you can put a read on the guy in the sense of why are these guys going?
He's going to fold.
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to put him on like ace-5 with the ace of spades, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, in that case, you're really in trouble, right?
Oh, you're almost dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an easy lay down for Peter, like you said.
He doesn't listen to us. He's playing much better than us.
I know. I don't listen to these guys. They told me to call 20 minutes ago.
And Peter looks mad. Yeah. He's going to raise it up here, Dave. He's got 10-5 offsuit.
Well, meanwhile, you know what? Don't look now, but look who's back in the match.
Well, Brian's got a little gap-suited connector here, 6-8 of clubs. This isn't usually the types of hands that you want to take heads up, are they, Dave?
Well, and you know what, though? Heads up against a razor in a heads-up match is different.
Right.
Because you can't necessarily give Peter a big hand.
Well, you can't also continue to fold every single time that he raises when he's raising automatically on the button. But Brian folds.
I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes you got to call those things. I mean, to me, sometimes you have to call those.
75, 150. 75 small blinds.
But I think Peter's back only to probably a 2-1 chip advantage now, right?
Yeah.
That's quite different than I do.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks, and you are watching a heads-up, no-limit hold'em match. The winning team gets $6,000. The leader gets $3,000, and each teammate gets $1,500.
Well, Brian folds here again.
We got Moe's Nuts versus Team Action.
Has your wife had success in tournaments?
She's had a little bit of success. I mean, it's hard to define what success is, you know?
I agree.
In a tournament. But I'm predominantly a cash game player, you know? I maybe play 15 tournaments a year, you know, 8 of which were in the World Series.
Now, Peter's raised here again. He's got Queen 7. Brian's got Jack 9.
I would like to play more tournaments, though, to be honest with you.
And Brian's made the call.
Yeah?
Wow, and he's open-ended here. Peter's got a gut shot, and Queen High's good right now.
Now, this is interesting. Brian's got a big enough hand that he might want to, he might check raise them all in or check raise them big.
If you've got a draw like this, neither player has a pair. The Jack 9, of course, is the favorite, right? The turn's a 5. Now Peter's open-ended.
Yeah.
And with one card to come, Peter's hand becomes now the favorite.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Brian needs a Jack, a Queen, a 7. Now you got to remember the 7 and the Queen are shared. You know, Peter's there's only 3 of them left instead of 4 of them. So 6. There's 3 Queens, 3 7s, and 3 Jacks. I want to say there's only 9 cards that will improve.
Peter's cutting out chips here. Brian's cutting out chips here. The thing is, if he bets too much, will he become committed to the hand?
The question is,
No, he's going to check. Let's see what Peter does now. I mean, it's almost like Brian's playing scared. If you put a lot of pressure on him, I wouldn't even necessarily mind an all-in move here.
Yeah.
I know. Calm down.
Look at this. I think Peter's bothered by George. And Peter's going to bet here. 600.
Well, Peter and George have contrasting styles of poker. And Brian has played it so passively with an open-ended straight draw.
And look at Mo's face. It sinks to the ground.
Well, Brian has played it so passively with Jack High there, with an open-ended straight draw on the flop, that he forces himself to fold.
Right.
And Brian's back to about 1,500 in chips.
Yeah.
I was going to push, so yeah, you push, I call.
I don't know about that. But look at this. Pocket aces here for Brian. And Peter's got King Jack. Oh, wow.
I mean, you got to play a trapping game here.
But
you got to play the trapping game.
Now you would trap.
Yeah, well, I think you got to trap a little bit here. You got a huge hand.
But look at this. Brian raises. And Peter moves all in here. Peter moves all in. He's going to... Peter has moved all in, Dave. Wow.
What do you have?
And Peter's in bad shape here.
Aces against King Jack. Look at George. Oh, wow. Queen 9 Jack.
A 10, a Jack, or a King will do it.
Right.
Wow, a lot of outs here.
Turns a 4.
Man, a 10, a Jack, or a King will do it for Peter.
Go to the river. River's a 9, and ace is up is going to take it.
Wow, and suddenly Brian is in the lead now. Wow. And that's pretty much Brian McCann's style here. He's trying to play it slow, double up a couple of times, and he's not going to win a lot of fights.
I got to be honest with you, and I'm never going to pick on aggressive play. That's going to be like one of the first times that Brian's raised, and Peter then came over the top with King Jack. I think you got to give him credit for more than that hand. Better hand than King Jack.
You know, in the end, right.
You know?
basically, when you're playing against a guy like Brian McCann here, take what he gives you, which is pretty much like 4 out of 5 pots.
Right.
And then whenever Brian shows a little bit of aggressiveness, throw it away unless you got the nuts. You know what I mean? Unless you got a real big hand. King Jack is not that big a hand. Remember, King Jack is behind Ace Deuce.
Right. So I think you're right there. I think that Brian is, well, we'll get a chip count here coming up pretty soon.
Well, he had a little over 1,500, and he doubled up, so he's got to be over 3,000 now, and there's only 6,000 chips in play.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it's probably about 3,200, 2,800.
Well, this has become somewhat of an epic battle, Dave.
Yeah. Well, we got the aggressive player against kind of got the rabbit against the turtle here, huh?
Now we got a raise here by Brian. Queen 10. See what Peter does. Now, like you said, I don't think he's going to get involved here. Well, he folds.
And I got to tell you, it's not like Peter's gotten sucked out on. I really didn't think Brian had a chance here, but he's picked up a couple of big hands, and Peter's got to pick his spots better to be aggressive, I suppose. Let's see if now Peter's on the short stack here. He's only got about 2,000 left. Let's see if he can stay aggressive.
Well, Peter's going to raise it up here. I think it's 225, Dave, with deuce 5 suited.
Now, the blinds are 75, 150, and the blinds are going to keep escalating, folks, so they've got to start playing poker.
Brian's got more chips now, so he might be able to take some more flops, right? Or see some flops. He's got Queen 8 here, and he folds. And this is where, if he plays like this, Peter's just going to be able to get himself right back into it, right?
Well, Peter's got to realize, though, he's got to win these small pots because a big pot is going to be tough to win against this guy.
Well, the issue here is that if Peter's not going to call against a shorter stack, Brian's not going to call against a shorter stack when he has Queen 8, that means that you can profitably raise pre-flop and probably take it down at least 75% of the time without contention, right?
Which would make it raise pretty much every single time you have the button.
Yeah.
You can raise it up every single time. It'll show a profit without a doubt. When you look at this, it's just showing a profit. But Peter's got to know that he can win these small pots. He can win 100, win 100, win 100. But if it comes to a big pot time, Brian's going to win those big pots because he's not committing chips without a real hand. I mean, he's folded away ace high. Remember that. He's pre-flop.
Now, Peter's got 9-3 offsuit here. Here's the other issue here. If Brian's not going to raise with king high here, then not only can Peter limp in, but he can raise with decent hands and just limp in with anything, right?
Exactly.
Well, ace 3-10 here. Peter's got a pair. Brian got himself involved in this before with calling down with king high. Peter's going to bet. He's going to bet 200, and Brian quickly folds.
Yeah. Well, and the interesting thing is, it's kind of the same style. If you were playing against Dr. Beebe or the Greek poker god, if you're playing against George there, you don't want to tangle it up with them in a big pot, right? You want to win a lot of small pots against them. Because generally, when they're playing a big pot, they've got it. And the same thing is here with this Brian here. Brian kind of looks like Charles Manson, doesn't he?
Pocket 10s here. Uh-oh, this could be it here. Brian's got ace 8, and Peter's got pocket 10s. And Brian's going to raise it up.
Yeah, 10s are a little different now.
Raised 250. Moved all in.
And Peter's moved all in here, Dave. Brian has raised and Peter has moved all in over the top. Now remember, he did this last time with King Jack. Now Brian has ace 8 this time.
And he's got a chip lead.
I don't need to look now.
And Peter's trying to lure him in.
Yeah, Brian's in bad shape. He's only got 3 outs. Obviously, the 8 would be no good here.
But, I mean, this is a big pot, though. Huge. Brian want to commit all these chips here to ace 8.
If Brian wins the pot, he wins the tournament.
I don't know.
And once again, Peter is playing a goading game, trying to goad Brian into calling. What do you think about all that extracurricular activity or techniques to try to get somebody to call? Or
hey, if it works, it works, you know?
I don't think you really play that type of style, do you?
I mean, I do talk in a tournament a little bit more. You know, if I can either get some information out of somebody or talk to, you know, I mean, people do that to kind of keep themselves in the game and to get under people's skin. If it works, hey, all the power to you.
My hand is popping all over the place. Jack.
I actually
Put
remember.
a clock on this guy again.
I actually remember, Dave. I remember you making.
You guys have.
You asking a guy if he wanted a call towards the end of your tournament that you did successful in the no limit $1,500 no limit tournament. With about 60 people left.
The answer is not much.
And then I later asked you in the Rio hallway, and you said you had shit basically. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have fun with it all. And you play the game and stuff. You know, try to play the table captain if you can. I mean, it's all. And he's going to call.
Oh
here.
wow, he's going to make the call here with ace high.
And he's badly dominated.
And Peter is in great shape.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian's got an over.
If an ace comes, Brian is going to win this tournament.
Ace is coming. Second card.
Ooh, deuce 7-7. Nice flop for pocket tens here.
Diamond,
Yeah.
diamond.
Come on, Brian. You know what to do.
Here we go with the turn. Turns another 7.
An ace and only an ace will win it for Brian and
Here we
most
go
nuts.
to the river. River's an 8, and that's not going to do it. Peter's going to double
You got your
through.
8 too.
Yeah.
You're my man, Brian.
And suddenly, the
Yeah.
pendulum swings back to team action.
Peter's like 5,000 now, and Brian's about 1,000.
Yep.
That was a huge hand. And again, I mean, well, I guess it's just a situation. Do you want to? Do you ever pass on calling all your chips off there, basically with ace 8, if you have a chip lead when your heads up?
You know, it can be tough. You know, sometimes you got to just read the player and you got to figure it out. But
Here we
heads
go.
up, it's tough. It's tough to know where you're at.
Peter's going to raise it up here. He's got 8-5 suited.
And he's going to go back to the dominating style, use his chip advantage, and try to just push Brian out of this game.
No, because you know what?
We're trying not to double him up every time.
Something different. I was thinking about.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks, playing heads up, no limit hold'em, team tournament style. Winning team gets $6,000.
And Brian's got 8-5 suited.
I'm gonna wear like a.
Peter's got king high, and Peter just checks it. I gotta be honest with you, if I was Peter, I might have put the pressure on there that hand. With king high, queen jack 6 here, a couple diamonds.
Yeah, king's still good, but Brian's going to fire into it.
And he takes it down.
If you have any email, if you want to email us with any questions or comments, please email us at liveatthebike.com. Do appreciate them.
Just a flash one.
I gave it back to
It's
you.
more like a bomb or something, right?
Gave it back to him.
Option.
Peter's got 6-3 suited.
He just limps in, and we're going to see a flop here. Look at a 6-3 versus 6 deuce.
200.
And Peter's
He's
going to
gonna bet
use his
200.
position to take it down.
And he is going to take it down.
Time is up.
And here we're going to move into the next level.
200.
100, 200 here now, Dave. Level 7. Again, we're here live at the bike playing our final round of our Heads Up Team Challenge. Playing
Wow.
for a $6,000 prize pool.
Yeah, the winner, the team leader there, Brian or Peter, would win $3,000, and each one of their teammates gets $1,500, folks.
George, when I spread a 500, we're going to jump in.
Raise.
I'll just get open.
We got a raise here by Brian. King 8. And Peter's going to fold.
And I like the play. See, Peter's trying to pick his spots. You know, the once in a while when Brian shows some strength, get rid of your
I'm
hands.
going to see a flop for it. It's going to cost me all my chips one way or the other.
Peter, this time, he's got 10-6 suited. And Brian has an ace, and I'd imagine that all of Brian's chips are going in right now, Dave.
And you think he's going to move in right before the flop?
I mean, with an ace, you're short chipped, wouldn't you?
And the blinds are 1-2.
And look at Mike.
Well, you know what Mike wants to do.
And he's going to raise.
And he's putting enough chips in there where he's pretty much pot committed, and
Yeah.
Peter's got to decide, do I want to put all my chips in there? And no, he doesn't.
625.
Blinds are 100, 200. They got to really play poker here.
Yeah. Required. Requirement.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm glad Brian is actually running it, because if it was Mo or Mike, this match would have been over an hour ago.
Right. Now, Brian's got King 6 suited here. He's on the button.
Mike.
Time to be aggressive here, right?
I would imagine so.
Sorry, Mike.
Blinds are 100, 200. Why not?
He's just going to limp in again, Dave.
Gives Peter a free ride.
Giving them free cards here.
Yeah.
Ace 3-5.
I know he's trying to do work.
And he goes check, check. And
Check.
and look
Turns
at
to
that.
10.
He lets him get there.
Wow.
Now, these blinds are 100, 200, so you're talking about a $400 pot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, you can also email us always at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
And Peter looks at his, and Peter's got an ace. Ace 8 here on the button.
And Brian's got king deuce. And Peter's going to move all in.
And Brian's going to throw his hand away, I bet. And that's another $200 into
Right.
Peter's coffer.
Yeah. Just seems like for some guy who says he plays a lot of tournaments, he's playing pretty passive in a heads-up match. Hey, maybe he's never gotten down to heads-up in a tournament before.
Well, not that many. And you know another thing is a lot of players, they end up making deals when it gets 4 or 5 hands.
Right.
So it's very rare to get heads up. I mean, I got to tell you, if you get to the World Series and you're playing for that bracelet, this kind of experience is invaluable.
Well, Peter's got 9-10 suited here.
Brian's got 9-4.
Why wouldn't Brian just fold right here, Dave? I mean, I would think you're in push or fold mode here.
Yeah, he's going to try to make a move maybe, but Peter might call here with a suited connector, 9-10. I mean, that's not even that.
Like we said, I mean, heads up with that type of chip lead, you're not going to be that much of an underdog in any two cards. You
Right,
know?
as long as, obviously, an overpair.
Right, just an overpair.
Ace-10 or ace-9, something
Right,
like that.
right.
Besides that, if you have live cards, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
We were waiting for you.
I mean, look at this.
7-3 or something.
And he's got him almost 5-1 in chips now.
Peter's got queen 5 now on the button.
500.
And Peter's going to raise it up to 500 here. Brian's got 6-3, and Brian quickly folds.
Surprise, surprise. And that elation that Mo had for about a second has quickly gone away.
And Brian's just going to need to pick a spot here to double up through here again.
Oh, yeah. The blinds are 100, 200. He's just getting bled 300 every 2 hands.
Yeah. He hasn't played a hand yet. I mean, at this point, you're looking at any queen all in pretty much, right?
You got to make a move, though. You can't just wait.
I mean, he's got 10-3 here now.
Like he's got 10 threes on the button when he's going to fold it and give up another 100.
Yeah,
I mean, at this point, too, you're going to look at Peter, and Peter might just make a call with any 2 cards here one of these times, too, right? If the odds lay him correctly.
Well, the problem is if you let yourself get so short stacked where you can't hurt your opponent anymore, yeah, he will call any 2 cards.
Right.
Why not?
And he folds again.
Yikes.
Corporation Mike has just got to be... I'm sure he's not pleased with the way that Brian's playing here. I mean, this is really something.
You're playing girly
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. I mean, there's
Look
nothing.
at this. Peter says you're playing girly poker right now.
Oh, wow.
And look at this. Brian's got deuce 7 off.
Hey, look, and Trish is not offended by that. Because she's one person who does not play girly poker, I'll tell you that much.
You're right.
And Brian raises, and is Peter going to muck with 8-5 now?
No, I don't think that. I think
Brian
that,
limped in.
I think Peter limped in on
Peter
the
limped
button.
in, okay.
And 6-4-6 here. Brian actually has the best hand here with 7 high. Turn is a king.
Oh, Peter's got 8 high.
Oh, you're right. Actually, you're right. Peter does have 8 high there.
And he takes it down with a
Yeah.
bet, though. Once again, Brian checks and checks, and that's it.
Hey! What are you doing?
You know, our producer might be offended by that, though, Dave. And she is female.
You got to understand, it's not a female thing, it's not a male thing. It's more of just it's more of a frame of mind. You know what I mean?
A frame of mind.
It
Really.
is. There have been times where I myself play girl. Hey, I got to be honest with you. Trish outplayed her son, right? I don't care if she's a girl.
And now Brian's got
guy.
7-9 high. He's gonna have to move at some point. Look at this. Peter's got Ace Jack.
Well,
Suited.
see, this is the problem. He's got himself so short.
Yes, we love it.
Let's see.
Oh my
I
God.
think
You're gonna hit it.
You can't even get hurt anymore, though. You can't. You waited so long that it's too late.
that's one of my favorite answers.
Even if he doubles up, he's only at 1,000 chips.
Oh, here we go.
7 or 9 is coming.
Who's calling for it?
6?
No.
No help.
3-6.
Yeah.
Brian's
Brian
gonna
needs a
have to-
7 or 9, or Peter's going to win this.
We can have red
Turns of 5. You can catch a 4 now, too, Dave.
Yeah.
4 straight. And the river's a 5, and Peter's going to win it there.
Peter
And
wins it.
team action with Ace High takes it down. Peter takes down, what, 3,000, and the other players on the team take down 1,500, right?
Exactly. $6,000 team action. Peter wins 3,000. Georgian wins 1,500, even though he lost his match on the first hand. And And Trish there, Mom, she wins $1,500. Very impressive performance by Peter, and I got to tell you.
And look at those poor bastards back there on the stud high-low table, Dave.
They look as miserable as Brian does.
I know. Here they are.
And I love stud high-low. I was actually really excited today. I had just gotten into work today.
Look at that guy.
There he is. There's the epitome of a stud high-low player. Hey, sexy, sexy. Interesting story. I got into work today, and I was in the Live at the Bike booth, and I was hanging out for a second. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and the floorman comes over, can you help me with a stud high-low game? And I go, okay, sure. So I sit down. The first hand, I make a 7 high straight and a 6 low. Okay. And then the next hand, I make aces up with a 7 low. I scoop 2 big pots, and then 2 customers come in, so I get up for them. So I win a quick $450, and I'm like, oh, thanks, no problem. Nothing like that, huh?
Well, Dave, we're going to shuttle in here a $500 no-limit game or a $300 to $500 game, whatever can get onto the table.
Yep. We'll see what we get in there. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get another heads-up match here.
Yeah.
I had an interesting hand I wanted to run by you and all of our listeners. I was playing in a $500 no-limit game on Saturday, the 5-10 blind game. We normally play on Thursday night. And I played it for about 6-7 hours, and I was up a couple of $1,000, doing pretty well. And I just wanted to throw a hand at you.
Okay. That's right.
I raised on the button with ace-king, and I got 2 callers. Pot's about $250, and the flop comes out ace-king-queen. And the under-the-gun guy comes out and bets $125. This other guy calls, calling station guy calls, $125, right? So I'm sitting there with top 2 pair. So I call the 125 and raise 500 more. I get a call in the small blind, and then the other guy moves all in for 2,500 more.
The calling station?
The calling station.
Wow.
That's what I said, wow. I was like, wow, what do I do here?
Yeah.
I just couldn't put him on anything but Jack 10, so I ended up throwing the hand away.
Yeah.
Turned out the guy in the small blind also had ace-king, so we had the same hand.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the other guy had Jack 10. And then it took me 2 or 3 minutes to really throw that hand. It was tough, you know.
Right.
Because obviously the pot was about $4,000, $2,000 to call, and I had top 2 pair. But I just couldn't figure out anything else he could possibly have but Jack 10.
Well, maybe just because that guy is so passive in between, you got to know that he's probably just smooth calling with the nuts, right?
Well, that was the way it looked. I mean, he's almost like a player like Brian McKay. He's played it so passively. I just couldn't imagine. I bet 500. A guy in between calls 500, and this guy would have the balls to move in with like a flush draw, you know,
right.
or like a weak ace or something. To me, he had to have the nuts. And I was really glad when he actually showed him. I was like, oh, thank you.
Of course, there are other things that beat you, too. I mean, he might be the type of guy that might not re-raise with pocket queens pre-flop.
Yeah, well, he had limped in somewhat late position, so I couldn't put him on the set. I just didn't think he had one. But I'll tell you, when I raised 500 and Paul called me, I was like, wow, because Paul's a pretty tight player as well. But it was a really interesting hand, and I had ran it by a couple of my... couple of people I talked to, and I hadn't talked to you about it yet.
Dave, we're going to take a couple minutes here while we shuttle on another game onto the table. So,
okay.
We'll be back here in a couple minutes, and I think we're just going to keep the shot right here on this table. So we'll be back.
This is you guys our money. $100 each. We take it for the drop and the dealer. This is 57. You guys have $6,000, right? All right. 3,000.
All right. 57. 900 piece. Is that it? 900. Here, chop it up, and Brian gets 100.
Hello. Hello.
Brian gets 100.
Brian's 100. He deserves it. Another one is $20 each. Not a penny more than that. I'm not going to give $20. Not a penny.
I think $20 is very generous.
Yeah, they came from a...
I think
$20.
I'll be right here.
Wait until my players come down and sit down.
Okay, now for the drop.
This
trade in here, or do drop?
Yeah.
Where is that paper? It's got 6 of them.
These two? You want this one or this one?
637, 730.
This is mine. Here. Is this 500 no limit or the 1,000?
This guy we want no 500.
Yeah, Carlos, go ahead and take your seat.
She's thinking it's a 5. She's thinking it's a 5.
I'm waiting for George because
Go ahead and stand by your seat. What seat did you have?
I'm taking
Okay,
2.
Peter.
Donna.
These guys are coming from the other game.
Yeah, coming here, right?
It's the same game. I'm just moving it
Okay,
over.
then we don't have a seat.
I can't have my seat?
How they can sit down?
No, you want to do this.
Okay, I have seats open. I only have 5 players.
Okay, then. they're going to come here, they're going to sit down.
These are the seats you want?
Everybody's going to sit down. If there's some seat open, you're going to sit down. If not, right.
It is sit open.
Because
That's
they're
what I'm
sitting
trying to
down
do.
already.
I'm trying to get the players to sit down.
All right, we get the money. 2,000.
There you go.
1,000.
Carlos, you were in seat what?
Whatever, with George, man, he doesn't move.
Or 500 per person.
What do you want, man?
You want your seat. We're trying to hurry up and get this game
Which
going.
seat am I going?
I'm playing with you, George. I'm
Okay.
playing.
There you go.
George, you're here. All right. Throw a chip over.
Just see if they need anything. while
George
you're
wants to see me in my lap. Is that allowed?
here. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
There you go.
How much you got?
You're going next one. Well done. Thank you. My one? Horrendous.
Yeah, this was nice, wasn't it? They're like, keep it slow. Yeah, we just want to see what's going on.
I was glad that he won. If you had won, I don't know what we would have done.
That's part of the reason why I did it anyways. I'm like, we go through one chip league anyways.
Drop the button.
Dude,
we ran the game on, we're going to have a new year.
The bottom one's right here.
First game? No way.
I thought for sure, even when we had even when we were like 5-1, that we would win.
So I have a player coming.
Seat 8, right?
Who's sitting in seat 5?
I think this is...
Whose leather jacket is in seat 5?
That's mine, don't worry.
Okay.
This one is open, Mo.
Yeah, I'll give the guy seat 5. Whose leather jacket is in seat
Mo.
5?
Mine, it's mine, right there.
So, that corporation
I
moms.
didn't know you wore leather
Where's
jacket.
Corporation Mom?
Okay, the new player's coming over.
Corporation Mom. I was
Whatever, here.
I paid him already.
You guys bad?
I paid her.
Here. This is hers.
We got extra money.
No.
Come on, we go check.
Oh, I
All right,
paid her.
Dylan,
Hold
go
on.
ahead. Shuffle up and
I
deal.
paid her.
What do you mean you paid her? You paid her for real? You want this
What did you
thing?
pay her?
What'd you pay her?
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start, guys.
Blinds,
And I'm going to come around and get your
I
names.
paid
The ones I
1900.
didn't.
Big line.
You gave it to me, right? You gave everything to me.
No, I paid her
Oh, you want to have, right?
$1,900.
Wait, did you get your money for a...
Don't worry, keep it there. Put it on the side.
Just keep it right here. Keep it right
Yeah,
here.
put it on the
So
side.
that's play.
It's something to talk.
George.
You were supposed to get money
I paid you already.
from Mike and everybody. Mo, we owe the window $3,000.
Carlos.
We owe there. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Mike,
It's there.
Mike, Trish, and
Okay.
not George. George paid, Peter paid, you paid.
Yeah, that's it.
Mike, Trish, and Brian.
We owe them 3,000.
We owe that window $3,000.
Okay. Enrique. Okay, give it to him. Give it to him. The Trish one.
Are we in the internet already or not?
This is all her money.
Yes.
Okay, give it to him.
That on ESPN?
Come on,
You
come on.
are now on air. Please do not use your cell phone. If you're going to play the hand, keep it in the window.
We owe them what? 3,000?
Here.
Good.
Yeah, just put it on vibrate. If it rings, just walk away from it.
250.
What's your first name?
Alex.
500.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat.
Well, we're back, Dave.
We are.
And we got a $500 5-10 blind game going.
And it's juicy. I mean, Carlos is in the game, among others.
So let's go around and introduce the table really quick.
Let's do that.
Check.
And seat 1, we've got Min there in seat 1. And he's got a lot of money there. Seat 2 is Mo. Seat 3, we've got, what's his name? I forgot his name. What is his name again? Dave, right, okay. I knew I thought his name. And there's seat 4, there's Carlos. Action Carlos there. And seat 5, we've got a broken wrist. There's William there. Poor wrist there.
Yep,
seat 6 is Greg.
Yep.
Seat 7, we've got Peter there. Peter just won $3,000 in that heads-up tournament. Seat 7, we've got George. Georgian playing more like a demigod than a Greek poker god
Yep.
lately.
That's in seat 8.
And seat 9, we're
Is
getting somebody.
Currently vacant.
Yeah, it is locked up, though, so we're getting somebody right away. And seat 3, once again, is Davy, like Davy Crockett.
So it's not heave.
Right,
Hive.
right.
What I thought it was.
Exactly, like Davy. The only name I don't like, basically. Blinds are 5-10 in this game. Yellow chips are obviously 5.
We get a raise
Purples
here
are
by
25.
seat 5. That's William. Pocket 10s. And George is going to call King Queen suited, and Carlos has got 4-5. He's going to muck, and we're heads up here.
3 players.
Actually, we got 3-way action. Excuse me. We got King Deuce over there in seat 6, who's in the hand. Ace 3-4.
Oh, William's still in the lead here with 10s, right?
60.
Yep, he's going to bet 60. 1 overcard there to his 10s. And, wow, Greg's going to make the call here with a gut shot wheel draw.
He's also got backdoor spade draw. You can't discount that.
2 players.
And the pot is now over $200. Here we go to the turn. The turn's a jack. Well, he's picked up the spade draw.
Oh, there you go.
And William bets 100 now.
Chips.
Yeah, and Greg needs a spade,
Greg just
a
calls.
king, or a 5.
Pot's over 400, and the river is a 3. No good. William's hand is good. And William keeps putting little blocking bets in there. He bets 200 into a $400 pot now. $600 pot, 200 to call. But look at that seat 6 with the king deuce of spades has nothing, and he's going to fold it.
Well, it's kind of a $200 bet hoping the guy had clubs, right? Kind of hope he has clubs there. It's the only thing you can put him on, really, right?
Players, have a good night. Thank you very much.
Now, interesting there, we had our heads-up no-limit tournament there. We're going to try to perfect that, obviously. We keep Mondays and Tuesdays open to kind of experiment with new things. Interesting there that Team Action, Peter, Trish, and George actually said they picked up on a tell that Brian had. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
Nothing like head goods.
Well, you can always. Well, it's interesting if you can pick up a tell on someone by just playing with them for 3 hands. It's probably a pretty big tell, right?
Big blind.
What do you mean next hand? I paid
Yes, sorry.
Card.
No, but it have to be. Did anybody look at the card?
No.
No?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Missed deal. Because I asked
Got a
you
missed
already-
deal here.
What did you ask?
Start again. Once again, we are live. We're unscripted, unedited, and completely live. 100%, folks. What you watch on TV has been gone through months and months of post-production, edited down. We want to give it to you raw.
That's okay. That's why I asked him
Funniest
to
thing,
put
Dave, is as I've played here at the bike longer and longer, I'm not the type of player that ever gets really on dealers for beats and stuff like that. But I gotta be honest with you. When I first started playing in a brick and mortar casino, I used to think that people were really horrible to dealers, that they treated them badly, that, you know, some of the mistakes that they make, oh, they're just human, you know, they make mistakes. But sometimes, I'm not talking about this dealer in particular, but there are just some dealers that aren't necessarily the best dealers, just like there are some players that aren't necessarily the best players, and that just don't pay attention.
Yeah.
And as a player, you really get mad at them to see them make the same mistakes over and over again,
Well,
right?
and you have every right to get mad
Yeah.
at them. You know what? Because you're playing for real money. There are a couple of times where I'll be at a table,
Right.
and I'll tell the dealer, I'll be like, come on, we're playing for real money here. Pay attention.
Right, right.
And you have every right to be upset with a dealer for that.
Now, we had a raise here.
Mini little $30 raise here.
I think it was by Greg with Queen 10. Peter called with pocket 6s. We're going to see 4-way action here. It's a
Kind of a
$120 pot.
pot sweetener, huh?
Jack 7-3.
Well, George has got top pair. Pretty good kicker.
Let's see what he does. He's going to bet.
125.
He bets 125. Now, Carlos has got middle pair. 7-9 with the hearts. And George has bet about the size of the pot, so it's about a $250 pot. And it looks like Carlos is going to get rid of it.
I imagine if Carlos folds, everybody else will as well.
We say it was kind of a pot sweetener raise with Queen 10. I don't really know why you would sweeten the pot with Queen 10 offsuit.
Yeah, unless you're on the button, maybe. I mean, sometimes you want to sweeten it if you have position and everybody. But now, the only thing I have a problem with is there are a lot of players that take it out on dealers and get abusive when you get a bad beat.
Right.
Or you start losing money, and that's just a bunch of crap. Because then it's like, come on.
Yep.
Well, it's human nature. We don't want to blame ourselves. We don't want to hold ourselves accountable, so we hold somebody else. You know, it can't possibly be my fault that I'm losing money, so it must be yours.
Right. So again, Dave, you will be playing on the Bikes Play for Free site tomorrow night, and we will give out the name of the table that you'll be on right around 7 Pacific time. Playing for play money, but there will be a bounty on your head, and I believe everyone's starting with the same amount of chips.
Yeah. Rock and rollin'. Don't make a difference what the prize is, because ain't nobody going to win it. Not a chance.
Limped around 7-way action. Jack 9-6. A couple people have jacks. 3 people have jacks. That's the case jack, Dave.
And I promise not to play like Brian. I'm not going to play it passive. I'm going to mix it up.
And look at this. Greg actually has top and bottom, Jack 6. Peter has called his bet with Jack 10.
Wow, that was a case Jack, huh?
Yeah, and Alex gets away from the Jack 8 there. After Peter overcalled or called in the middle there.
Oh, it's Alex in seat 1. We have another player that's called Min, actually.
Yeah.
So I thought it was Min.
Turn is a 5. And look at this. Greg's going to move all in here for about $400.
And Peter
I
calls.
believe Peter just instantly called.
And there's a 10.
And look at this. The river's a 10.
Wow.
Peter sucks out at the end.
Wow,
I mean,
what a
Peter
bad
didn't
beat.
even take second thought to think about that.
But you know, it was only $400. And that was the end of it. The pot was
Wow.
laying him a little bit of money, and he just figured,
Wow.
gamble, gamble, gamble.
And Peter takes it down there.
Yeah, and that's the end of Alex there. He just got up and left.
Well, it looks like he's got a chip there. He might have locked the seat
Okay.
up.
Got it.
And that's actually Greg over there in seat 6, I believe.
Oh, Greg, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's going to be Tuckman, that's me, versus the viewers. Come play on a no-limit hold'em table and compete against me on the Bikes Casino's Play for Free site. And make sure you sign up early, because obviously I can only play against one table at a time.
Look at this, George Georgian, the Greek demigod. He's going to raise it up here with 8-5 offsuit. But Mo's got pocket kings. We got a smooth call on the button by ace-3 of clubs. And Mo's going to raise. And like you said, sometimes tell Dave about tells. If somebody makes that initial call and then they raise afterwards, it sometimes can suggest strength.
I think it does.
He's going to raise it up to 250.
And George quickly folds. And Alex on the button here, does he really want to take it heads up? No, he doesn't.
And he's going to fold. So we want to get into that tell that Peter said that he had?
Now, he said, actually, Peter, George, and Trish also that same tell. They said that they when Brian had a big hand, when he had a bad hand, actually, he would lift the cards up close to his chest to show his teammates. But when he had a really big hand, he would actually leave the cards on the window and just peel them up at the corners. And they said they picked up on that right about 15, 20 minutes into the heads-up match. I hadn't noticed that, but it'd be interesting if that was what they picked up on. Queen 10 for George here.
Yeah, Queen 10 suited.
Now, you were telling him that he's playing a little too predictable. Now, I don't think that he needs to start raising with 8-5 offsuit, but this is the kind of hand that he can raise with Queen 10.
He raises to 55. Carlos has got ace-deuce offsuit here, and he's going to make the call. So the pot's
Some
gonna
people,
be over
some people like to try to
$100.
mix it up by raising with like 8-5, 8-3. I don't need to do that as much.
Well, 4-deuce-10. He's got top pair
Yeah,
there.
nice
George
flop for
does.
George.
It looks like Carlos is going to come out and bet here with ace-deuce.
I'd imagine that George is going to put a nice little raise in here then.
And Carlos bets 50. He bets half the pot. Let's see what George is going to do here. He's going to raise.
Wow, that's a big raise.
Right, 175.
He's going to make it 175 more. Now, the thing about this game is this is not the $1,000 game. What I was saying about George in the $1,000 game was pretty much peg him on 4 hands if he raised pre-flop. Jacks, queens, kings, or aces. Because
Right.
he didn't raise with any other 2 cards, including ace-king, ace-queen suited.
Wow, and Carlos is going to call.
Wow.
Wow, and this pot is quickly about $500.
Yeah, $460. And let's see the turn. The turn's a 7. George's got a flush draw now with his top pair.
Carlos needs an ace or a deuce, and the ace cannot be a club.
And George is going to bet here.
500.
And I imagine
He's gonna
Carlos is
bet
going to get rid of
500.
it here. I mean, can Carlos call with bottom pair?
Still locked. Still locked right now.
No, he's going to fold.
Nice aggressive play.
And George takes it down. Well, I mean, George played it pretty straight up there. I was thinking that maybe, George might smooth call the flop as a move, but
Then raise
again,
and turn, maybe?
I mean, again, it's, I mean, if you can play this game straightforward and get called with ace-deuce pre-flop, and then get called with ace-deuce with a bet and a raise on the flop, I guess there really isn't really a reason to change your game up, right?
Right. I mean, I think obviously you need to be raising with more than just those big pairs, though. Otherwise, to be honest with you, I would call your big raise and hope that I hit a monster.
Right.
Just so I can get paid off big and throw it away right away if I didn't catch anything.
Well, he's got pocket queens now with George.
Well, this will be interesting. He's raised 2 hands in a row. This will be the 3rd hand in a row he raises, and each time the hand is getting better.
We're going to see a call here by seat 1 with 7-9 of diamonds. The raise looks like it's about 55. Carlos has got King Jack, one of those really over-dominated hands that we sometimes talk about trying to stay away from in this game.
Yeah, especially out of position.
But he makes the call. And here we go to the flop. Well, ace 9-8. Wow, pretty good flop there for Alex. He's got a flush draw and a pair. And Williams in the hand with ace 7, and he's going to come out and bet. He bets 100. He's going to try to see where he's at. And hey, against George, when George folds, you know the ace is good. Alex calls.
I got to tell you, that's part of George's game that I like, though. I like him not getting stubborn. He throws it away.
Oh, look at this. The turn's a diamond, and it gives Alex a flush draw and an open-ended straight flush draw. And William bets 200. He picks up a straight draw, and Alex just calls. And here we go to the river. It's a 10, and Alex has made a straight flush. But it's killed all his action, Dave.
Yeah, but look at this. William has made a straight. I can't imagine
there's 4 diamonds out there.
Yeah, no, I know.
500.
I mean, at this point, you really hope to hell the guy's got the king of diamonds in his hand,
right?
Oh,
You're hoping.
He doesn't.
And he thinks he was rivered, but no, he wasn't even rivered.
Yeah.
The turn got him.
And he had the straight flush.
Wow, what a big hand there.
Yep.
That's one of those times you just kind of hope the guy has king of diamonds.
Last straddle.
And again, we get an email here from Matt Green. When is Bart going to play heads up against Corporation Mike? Well, that was never really planned for tonight, Dave. It will happen eventually, sometime hopefully in the near future. I just want to give the viewers more of a heads up as opposed to just kind of slapping it together.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll get it out there.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun, obviously.
Yeah.
Big ace-queen of clubs here for Carlos on the button, and he's going to raise it up.
He's going to make it 100 to go.
Now, this is a straddled pot. Peter had straddled there. And George limped in. Is he going to call $100 with king-queen offsuit?
9 o'clock we have shootout here every Monday. 1,000 each, $10,000 prize pool.
And let's see what George is going to do with
it. Yeah,
the
right now he's looking for his Bicycle Club Classic card. Once again, at the Bicycle Club, we actually pay our players to play.
Yep.
You get free food, and you get paid to play. At this game here, you get $5 an hour for every hour over 25 hours.
Well, George is going to play stubborn here. I got to be honest with you. I liked Alex's hand better with the 7-9 of hearts.
Yeah.
And look at the flop for 7-9 of hearts. 6-7-8.
Now, is George going to be aggressive and try to take it away, or is he just going to check and
goes check, check, turns a jack. Again, Alex would have had a flush draw now with his pair. Check, check again. The river's an ace, and Carlos gets there.
Yeah, and Carlos had him in real bad shape there.
Maybe. Depends on what time.
100.
Again, when I say George getting stubborn with that hand, king-queen, I mean, would George be able to get away from a lot of pressure if a queen came as top pair on the board?
Well, I don't think against Carlos he's going anywhere. You know, against certain players, I just don't think he's going to get away from it. I mean, I don't understand why you want to call a raise out of position with king-queen offsuit. Especially, we're talking an $80 raise. You know, that's a pretty big raise. I'll pick your spots better than that, don't you think?
Well, you know, I mean, I would like to take that hand again, like seat number 9, who actually mucked his hand to a raise, a 7-9 of hearts.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Well, seat 5 here, William, he's got king jack offsuit. It looks like it is the best hand. Excuse me, seat 3's got pocket 10s, and he's going to raise it up.
50 total.
$50 here, so that's 5 times the big blind. Again, we're playing 5-10, no limit hold'em.
And this is a pretty deep game. A lot of these players have a lot of money. I mean, look at what money Peter has there. He's got close to $4,000 or $5,000 in front of him. And Alex there in seat 1 has got a lot of money as well.
4 players.
4-way action. $200 pot. King 8-9. Well, William called with king jack.
Wow,
and he
Alex
rewarded.
has got 2 pair though.
Yeah, look at that. Alex has got bottom 2 pair. Davey checks the pocket 10s, and William's going to bet 100.
And that's a nice flop right now. And he kind of puts somebody.
He just calls. He's just going to smooth call.
I mean, at this point, I'm hoping the guy has ace king.
Let's see. I don't think that Davey can overcall with his pocket 10s now.
Wow. I mean, I'm really surprised with the texture of a board like that. Any card between a 9 and a king comes, it's a scary card.
Absolutely. And if it's going to be a jack, he's going to. Well, the turn's a 7.
And that's also scary. If the guy had jack 10, it's scary.
And he checked it now, and he's going to wait till the turn here, and he check raises all in.
Yeah, William doesn't have much.
Yeah, William's going to make the call.
Yeah.
All in.
And William needs a jack, a 7, or a king.
Well, here we go to the river. The river's an ace.
2 pairs.
And 8-9 is going to take it down. Well, William called that king jack like.
Yeah, I think
really
he only had a
poor.
couple $100 left.
Yeah.
And you wonder maybe if Alex is made the play because William only had like $500. Kind of played it slow and said, let me get all this guy's money, and it's not much. Oftentimes, if a guy is a little deeper, you'll play it a little faster because you don't want to lose a huge pot.
There's a famous wrestling thing. Yeah, wrestling.
And that pot was about maybe $1,000 then. So I think William had about 400 left. Seat 5. The button moves over there to Greg, who's back in the game, dude.
Yeah, he's bought him for the minimum, it looks like.
$500. Looks like a rack of yellow.
Oh, and he's got a stack of purple too, I hear. Okay. I was
Well,
going to say $500, I just don't think it's enough for this game.
Couple big hands here. We get Ace King for William in Seat 5, who just went broke. We get word of how much he's going to play behind.
$50.
He's going to raise it to 50, and Seat 8's got pocket jacks. And he's got 1,000 behind here.
And now with Peter calling in the middle, you
Peter's
want to
gonna
raise it
call
up here with jacks?
Queen 8 offsuit, and George is going to raise.
And all the money might go in free flop here.
2 more hundred.
He's going to raise it up to 400?
500 total.
I'm all in.
All in.
And look at this, a raise, a re-raise,
You want to make a
and
deal?
a,
Hold on.
and a call, Dave. And it's going to be $1,000 free flop here. And George says, you want to make a deal? You want to make a deal?
Twice?
Well, what you got?
I only got 1,000 behind me.
Now your hand.
Oh,
I've got big pocket pair.
okay.
Ace king?
Yeah.
All right, run it 3 times. Good?
No, they're going to run it 3 times.
Yeah, and I want to say William was how much behind? $1,000
1,000
behind?
behind.
So this is a $2,000 pot, free flop.
We're going to see a lot of cards here up on the screen again, folks.
They're running it 3 times,
We're
which
going to
means
see
basically
15 cards. Well, King 3-3.
William's in good shape on the first one.
Yeah,
Well, how many times you want to run it? Probably going to lose one more now. Watch.
here we go. Look at that, another King.
Well, it's about
Turns
50-50, so
And the river's a king.
well, that's good.
No more kings left, but there's an ace left. Queen 6. Turns a jack.
Okay,
and ace king could catch a 10 here. He doesn't.
So I owe you a third of 300. So 300.
Yeah, and if you look at that now, that they run it more than once, obviously,
Give him 300.
to decrease variance.
You
Yeah.
have some money.
No.
Right?
Hold on.
Here. You put some money.
And we're actually getting word here, Dave, that we actually have it, so we don't have to keep repeating ourselves every night. It's up on the website. If anyone wanted to check out what just happened, you can go and look at www.liveatthebike.com, and it's explained as to why people run their cards multiple times.
Super. So that helps us.
It does not change the expected value, only the variance.
Right, and in that case there, George won 1/3 of the pot, which is approximately, say, $700.
Right.
And William wins the other 2/3 of the pot.
Right.
I want to say it's like 633 to 1377, somewhere 1367, right around there.
Well, I got to tell you, some of the times these guys really fall in love with running. The more I watch this show, the more I'm not a fan of running it multiple times.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, the only thing you're looking at, it's a $2,000 pot. Do you really want to do a $2,000 pot? Just a coin flip. So that kind of it doesn't insure anything, obviously, but more often than not, you're probably going to win 1 out of 3 at least.
Right. Well, again, the more times you run it, the closer to the actual, the closer the end value will come to what the percentage is free flop.
Exactly. And if you don't believe that, try flipping a coin 5 times, and then try flipping it 500 times.
Right. Yeah. Now, you only can run it 3 times max, right? Is that
Yes.
all that we allow?
Yeah, that's all we allow.
I think somebody sent a snide email to me, Dave, a couple weeks ago saying, why don't they just deal people, 10 different hands and run the whole deck each time? Because they thought it was kind of ruining the show.
I see. Yeah, well, people that watch, and I'll get to this in a second, actually.
Pot, I believe, is limped around here.
Yeah, all hearts there. Seat 9, who's now actually Greg, who moved over there to seat 9. He's got an open-ended straight draw, but he doesn't have a heart in his hand.
Right.
Now Mo has a heart. He's got the 9 of hearts.
75.
Is this guy going to show
But
up?
is Mo in the hand?
Yes.
Yeah, Mo actually. Well, wait a minute. Someone's got ace-9 of spades. I don't think Mo's in the hand.
No, I think I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah. It was actually Peter who had ace-9 of spades. He now folds.
And Carlos bet with his pair fives.
And Greg called with king-4 open-ended with no heart.
Yeah, and Carlos is going to take this down.
How do you call with king-4 of diamonds
Oh,
here?
but Greg is going to bet 300.
Well, look at
into
this.
it.
Carlos's check. 75, actually. Only 75.
Oh, I thought it was 300. Okay.
And that's not enough. If it was 300, it might have been enough.
Yeah.
And Carlos calls with ace-5.
King guy.
Well,
This guy's an action player over here in seat 9.
Yeah, Greg tried to bluff him out, but you can't bluff Carlos.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously now most people that watch tournaments are kind of like flabbergasted. Like, what is this running it more than once? What is this crap? I've never seen anything like it. And that's because there are no other cash games on TV. We're the first.
Yeah.
And I believe the only. And it's pretty exciting. But in cash games, especially in big cash no-limit hold'em games, running it more than once is very common.
Absolutely.
So you want to come in, Ken?
We got a new player coming in the game here. Seat 6. It's Timmy.
Oh, Timmy.
Like the Christmas Story, right?
Timmy?
We are approaching Christmas, right?
Yes, we are.
The button moves over here to seat 8. Ace-10 of spades over there for Alex in seat 1.
50 total.
And Carlos is going to raise it up with Jack-10 of diamonds. He's going to make it 50 to go.
Now, that's part of the read on Carlos. You see him raising up the $50 with Jack-10, but he raises it up 100 with Ace-Queen.
Greg's going to make the call with Jack-3.
How are you exactly even?
And Alex comes in there with Ace-10
Hey, well,
of
it's
spades.
suited.
Right, 4 players.
And Davies in there with 10-6 suited. Well, here we go to the flop, $200 pot.
Talk about an action game here, huh?
Ace-5-9. Alex has got top pair. Let's see how he plays it from up front.
500 even and say you're
Is he going to throw a bet out? Yeah, he's going to see where he's at. He bets 100.
He check raised before when he had 2 pair, but with 1 pair, he's going to put money in there right away.
Carlos folds.
And I don't think even Greg can call this. And he can't.
And Alex takes it down.
Take it down.
Well, please join us tomorrow night for another exciting episode of Live at the Bike. I believe it is scheduled for a limit hold'em game, Dave. And
yeah.
Whether that level.
And the one thing
be
that's kind of exciting, I guess you're going to do limit hold'em and then cut away to our play for free site where I'll be playing.
Well, we're not necessarily going to cut away, but I'll mention it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we might show it on the screen maybe once or twice throughout the night.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for throwing me a bone.
Yeah, probably towards the end of the show. Pocket Jack's here for seat 3. And he's going to raise it up to 50.
Williams got king-queen. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it. He's not showing his cards for us, but I saw the king-queen. So.
And he makes the smooth call with king-queen. King of clubs, queen of spades. Now, George has got 8-10 suited in the cutoff.
And that's the kind of hand you can take one with, right?
Right, he is going to call.
Especially only $50.
And look at this. The button's got deuce 4 suited. You know, you might call there, too, and he does.
And Mo's going to call, too.
And George actually has 8-10 of clubs in seat 8. We have it up there as 8-9.
Now this is 5-handed, $50 times, $250 pot.
Yep. And look at the flop. 8-9-6.
Davey's still in the lead, right?
George has got top pair. And Davey's going to bet kind of weak. He's going to bet 100 with pocket jack. So let's see what George does. Is he going to raise it up with top second pair, see where he's at?
And he is.
He does. He makes it 200.
It's kind of a strange bet by Davey, isn't it? I mean, he's got an overpair to the board. And the pot's 250, and he only bets 100 into it.
Now, how much does Davey have left? He's going to move the rest all in. I guess he didn't have that much left. So maybe he looked at it as, and look at that, George folds. Maybe he looked at it as, well, if I move in now, I won't get any money from anybody who doesn't necessarily have top pair. But if I bet weak, maybe it will be like a little bait bet for somebody to come over the top of me with a 9 or something
kind of
like
feign
that.
weakness there.
Right.
Now, it's interesting, the pot was already actually, I want to say 200, 400. The pot's 650. Could George have actually called that?
Well, I guess it depended on how much Davey had more. How much?
I mean, I was looking at it. It didn't look like Davey had more than maybe 200 or 300, right?
I mean, with a single pair, yeah.
I mean, if he puts another 300 in, the pot's like 950. You're getting 3 to 1 on your money. Do you call that with 8-10?
Well, if you put the guy in an overpair and you have I mean, basically you've got, what, about 5 outs with 2 cards to
Plus the
come.
gut shot.
Oh, yeah, he did. He had a gut
Gut
shot,
shot
too.
also.
Yeah,
I mean, any 7, any 10, or any 8.
yeah.
I mean, he threw it away so quickly. I'm not sure if it was a correct laydown, to be honest.
Got a couple pocket pairs here. Pocket 9s, pocket 7s, and ace queen over there in the big blind. Limp, limp, limp.
Raise it.
And we're going to see a raise here with ace queen offsuit. He's going to raise it up.
16.
He's gonna
Pretty
make it
straightforward from
60 to
Davey
go.
here, huh?
Now Carlos has king 8, and he makes the call king 8 offsuit in early position.
Yeah, king 8 offsuit's got some hidden value.
And look at this William Muck's pocket 7s.
Wow. How big's the raise?
60.
60. I wonder how much William has behind
Well,
now.
he's got more than 600.
Oh, really? Actually, Williams probably got close to 1,500.
Wow, Peter's in there with ace rag, ace 8 offsuit. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, we haven't seen Peter play a lot. Is he the type of player that's going to get married to top pair where if an ace comes off, he's just going to move on?
Yeah, I don't understand the play, to be honest with you. Ace 8 offsuit. Why am I calling a raise with ace 8?
Well, Jack 6 deuce here on the flop. George's hand pocket 9s, but Mo's got top pair. Pot's about $350.
Now, the interesting thing is, see, now Mo at least had some sort of straight possibilities and
Right.
flush possibilities. But pocket 7s, if I have $1,400 there and I get multi-way action, why aren't I calling a $60 raise?
Well, George is going to put a bet out and see where he's at. He's going to bet $250 here.
Well, I like the bet.
Greg's got middle pair, 6-3.
And I got to tell you, if Greg calls,
I don't know
Mo
if Mo
muck?
can call.
Yeah.
Unless Mo doesn't put... Wow, he makes the call. Unbelievable. And the pot balloons up to 850, and Mo quickly folds now.
Yeah.
He folds with the
Mo,
Jack 8.
Mo's not looking for a pair of jacks there.
Right.
And then now, suddenly, now George is in good shape here.
Turns a king. And George is going to check now.
And is Greg going to bluff at it?
No, he checks. And the river's a jack. And
Wow.
does that scare you if you're George? But it just goes check. And George is going to win it with pocket 9s, and you wonder what Mo's going to look like over there in seat number 2. He can't be pleased.
Well, did he hear him? Over there he went, ah.
And there you go. He says, if he didn't call, I would have called.
Right. He didn't want to overcall with just a pair of jacks.
Jack 8.
And he actually had Jack 8 of hearts. He would have turned the flush draw also. Before
I
making
don't know if
trips.
these guys are privy to like some of the things that seat 9 have been doing here tonight, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, 6-3.
I remember, especially a board like that. I mean, they got to look at that board and go, wait a second. There was no flush draw out there. There was no real straight draw out there.
Yeah.
What was he in there with?
Yeah, bad jack.
He didn't call. I win the pot.
He's saying he has 10s.
I win the pot right there.
That's what he's saying.
You're saying you have
You
10?
say you have 10s.
And I believe, where are we now in the 2+2 thread?
Well, we're over in the mid to high limit, no limit, and pot limit section. Got a couple big hands here. Pocket queens and king jack suited.
Wow. Well, pocket queens for seat 6, and that's our new player, Timmy.
But look at this. Seat 9's going to move all in with king queen. And I believe
wow.
that Timmy raised it up with queens, and king queens come over the top all in.
And I'm looking at the board. There are 2 kings dead. I mean, Timmy's in great shape if he calls.
And the guy in seat 3 is thinking about calling with... Oh, he's not going to call with king jack to a raise and a re-raise. Are you kidding me? And actually, you know what? Timmy just limped. And he's going to make the call. So it was a limp call.
And I imagine George is going to lay down this
Yeah,
hand.
and Greg is in real bad shape because there's only one king left, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
If it comes, it's good. If it doesn't come,
2 ace. 2 ace on the
And we're looking at about a $950 pot here.
oh,
Jack 6-10.
Wow, what a
King
flop.
Queen's open-ended now. Turns a deuce. And the river's a 7, though, and Queen's escape.
No help there. And
again, did Greg turn his hand over and show everybody that hand?
well, he was asking for a 9, so wouldn't be hard to deduce what he had there, huh?
How about pocket 9s?
Good point. Okay, okay, you're right. Makes sense.
Yeah. I probably would rather move with pocket 9s than king queen.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Although, I mean, give him credit, at least he moved in instead of calling it all in.
Right. Well, let's see what he's going to do there. I think he's out of there, Dave.
Yeah, he's lost it quick. I want to say, what, about $1,500,
Yeah.
$1,600?
Time for that Incredible Hulk music.
Cue the music.
Yeah.
And he's making the long walk away.
Sounds like we need like a little Bart soundboard. Wow, this guy is out of there. I don't know if we can get that recorded up.
Oh, it looks like he's headed to the ATM machine again. That's sad. Poor guy.
They
having a
usually
rough
put daily
night.
limits on those types of things, don't they? King,
Yeah.
Queen, 4 here.
If you're important enough, you can get those waived.
And Davey over there on the button has Ace, Queen.
All right. And obviously, we're not criticizing the person. We're just criticizing the play. But it's interesting sometimes. You know, so a lot of these guys are not professionals. They just come down to have a good time.
Now, Alex is going to make a bluff bet into this board. He has absolutely nothing.
Tough call, though.
Davey's
going
going
to
to call, yeah. His Ace, Queen.
Now, Davey's got position on him, too. Davey's got the button, so.
Turn is a 6. Well, now Alex picks up a straight draw, and he checks it.
Yeah.
And look at this. Davey gives him a reverse free card, but the straight doesn't come. And the river is a 9, and Alex just gives up. And
Well, it's
Ace-
interesting. You know, Davey almost. When Alex doesn't bet again, you go, oh, shoot, does this guy have a weak king? You know, something like King 9 or something like that.
You know, it's interesting over there, Carlos in C4. It's like he's got hair cement in his hair. You know what I mean? It's like that, really thick. You know, and then we're going to take a look at a chip count here.
Peter there, after he's actually sucked out on Greg. He's up to 5,500 here.
Yeah.
A lot of money in this table, huh? Alex with 3,500. Mo with 2,000. And Davey bringing up the rear there with only 650.
Well, actually, Davey, I think, just doubled through, so he's up a little more than that.
Is he?
Over
Okay.
1,000 now. Got about 12 or 1,300 in front of him. I think we have the pot with straddled here by Peter. And Peter's got Jack 5 in the straddle spot, and he just checks it. Ace, King, King here on the
Wow,
flop.
big flop there. Timmy's got an ace here. He's got 2 pair.
And it got checked around. Turns a 7, and it's a spade. And Alex has got a spade draw now in seat 1. But Timmy's going to come out and bet. He bets 50.
And can Alex call this? I mean, he's got a gut shot straight draw
Yeah.
and a spade draw, but he doesn't even know if it's good. If it hits it.
Look at Carlos. He's going to call with the 7.
Wow.
With no spade. Is he going to represent the spade, though? The river's a spade.
This will be interesting. He's got the button. And is Timmy going to put out a little blocker bet here?
No, he
No.
checks. And Carlos just gives up.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, that's a real opportunity for Carly to take that one down there, Dave.
Yeah.
You know.
I had 7.
And we've got about, I want to say, 25 minutes left in the show.
Now, tomorrow night's tournament, obviously we have our Ho-Ho Hold'em tournament going on. And tomorrow night's tournament is a no-limit Hold'em shootout, which is a $300 buy-in tournament. And it starts at 7:15. And basically each table plays a freeze-out. And the winner of the table moves on. And obviously those winners play each other later on. Real exciting, though. Starts at 7:15. Get here early for it.
Yeah, those shootout events, Dave, it's interesting that casinos don't count those in those overall points
Yeah.
playoffs. Why is that?
I think because there's too much luck in the sense that it's what table you get set at. You know, what table you get put at.
Pot is limped around 4 ways. Ace 3, 4 here with a couple clubs. Timmy's got the nut flush. No, excuse me, he's got the second nut flush draw. But Alex is going to bet. He's got a weak ace. He bets 25. And Timmy's going to make the call.
Exactly. That's why it's funny. I don't know. I don't get it either. But we're here.
Turns a club, and there's the flush. And he goes check, check, because Alex has got the ace of clubs, and he makes another straight flush. He's got a straight flush wheel. What we call in stud high-low a steel wheel. And he's going to bet here 50, and he's going to get called. He's got a steel wheel, Dave.
Yeah. Would have been interesting if Alex had the 6 of clubs and Tim had the ace of clubs.
Right.
King 9 of clubs.
You had the ace.
Well, it's, again, you know, very interesting we talk about this, that Alex checked the turn. And actually, you know what, though? Alex checked the turn, but the king checked right behind him. That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
I was going to say, sometimes, like, if you think that the guy might be on a flush draw, and you have ace-8 with the club draw in position, and you don't want to get check-raised, you can check behind. Whereas if you don't have the club, you should bet. Now, that guy just checked with king 9. He let off a club come there on the river.
Yeah,
Well, that's he was trying to induce a bluff.
Trying to
there.
induce a bluff and hope the guy doesn't have a... He was trying to hope the guy was going to bluff at it. You know.
Yeah, there's Vic Park.
Big Park drinking the superfood.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Queen Jack.
Big fan of that naked superfood juice.
You're just a fan of naked anything, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am. I think if the world generally went without clothes more often, a lot of the world's problems would go away. I want to run for office. That's my first platform. Let's get naked.
The button moves over here to Peter, seat 7.
How much you want? It's this one.
Once again, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on 2+2, or you can email us at liveatthebike.com. We try to keep the show as interactive as possible.
And Peter's going to raise it up here on the button. He's got pocket tens.
75.
Makes it 75 to go.
And Peter's going to take it down without even saying a flop here. No problem with that.
What are you doing? I'll give you $1.
I already dropped the other one.
And seat 9 is locked up. We're going to play her there in a second. But right now we're going to play 8-handed. Now, would you say, I know obviously short-handed play differs from, say, obviously 9-handed. Do you really change up your play from, like, say, 9-handed to 8-handed?
Well, I mean,
what's the number when you start differing it up differently?
I think you definitely need to, I think when I'm playing Limit Hold'em online, I definitely will play different when it's full there as opposed to when you're playing live when it's rarely full because there's someone always up. So I think there's a difference between 10 and 8, if that's a fair answer.
Okay.
You know?
So like a 2-player difference is where it really you start paying attention.
I might come in with raises in early position with King Queen offsuit in an 8 or 7-handed Limit Hold'em game, whereas online in a 10-handed game that's full.
Yeah.
Same thing with an Ace Jack offsuit.
In a 10-handed game as opposed to say a 7 or 8-handed game.
Right, exactly. Now George is raised here with King 7. And Peter just limped in there on the cutoff with King Queen, I believe. Wow. So George raises, and look at this. Peter's got trip queens.
Wow.
And see how he plays it, and it looks like he's just got checked around.
Well, he's in trouble, though, because Alex has an open-ended straight draw.
And the turn here is a jack, and now he's going to bet.
Now, this is really interesting here. If you're Alex, do you think your jack is good, and you've got a draw? You got open-ended straight draw.
Well, Peter's bet 75 now. And look at this. George has picked up a spade draw.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is if a spade comes out and it's the 8 of spades.
Right. If Alex is still in there, George will have a better hand.
Right, exactly. And also now if the king comes out, giving Alex the straight.
It
gives Peter a full house.
Yeah.
A really interesting hand here.
Well, Alex calls. So Alex is probably going to go broke here if a king comes out.
Exactly.
And, Peter might go broke if an 8 comes out. Well, it's a 9, and Peter fills up.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe card.
Well, now there isn't really a whole lot that Alex can beat. Peter's going to bet 400 here on the river, which is a little bit of an over... Well, yeah, he's betting about the size of the pot, and Alex is not going to get involved.
And we're getting a new player in seat 2. Mo got up for a second, and we're getting Corey in seat 2.
Yep.
Corey's a real solid, tight player.
I can see you from here.
Rarely gets out of line. Generally, if he's in the pot, he's got something.
Why'd you just take my money?
If you think George is predictable, I think I gotta say Corey is somewhat the same.
Button moves over here to seat 1. And it looks like Peter's got Queen Jack. He's limped in. George is limped in with an Ace 2 suited. Alex comes in here. We get 5-way action. $50 pot.
Well, you know what? No archive it, bitch.
7-4-5.
Well, nice flop for Davey there. Top pair with an open-ended straight draw.
He's over in seat 3, and he's early to act. Let's see if he's going to bet here. And it looks like he is going to bet.
40.
He's going to bet 40.
And I like the bet there, because if any overcards comes, he has no idea where he's at.
Especially if he gets checked around, right?
But yeah, it's a limped around pot. You can't expect anybody else to bet your hand for you.
Well, George is going to muck the gut shot wheel Alex is out of there, and Corey has not much, and he folds.
And he takes that. Nice bet by Davey. I mean, he's got a strong enough hand there. If somebody raises him, he can take some heat, too, with top pair and open-ended straight draw.
That's an interesting hairdo.
He's got some long hair, actually.
Kind of like that Steven Seagal hairdo type thing going on, you know, with the slick back and the ponytail.
Oh my! Did you see Saturday night's fight? Jermaine Taylor and Hopkins?
No, I did not.
Okay, I've got to get to this because it's one of the funniest things in the world.
You actually paid for a boxing fight?
I was here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I paid for boxing. My wife and I
hopefully
actually
not in the heavyweight division.
No,
not
no.
these days.
we pay for the middle and the light ones all the time, though. My wife and I love watching boxing. She's a bit of a fighter herself.
Pot is limped around here. 5-way action. King 8-6.
Well, Davey's got top pair. He's got a king.
See if he comes out and fires with weak kicker. No, he's going to check it.
Yeah, George has got bottom pair and a, that's it.
Carlos is going to bet right into an open-ended straight draw. He's going to bet 50.
Queen or 9 at least. Not a queen.
And George is going to call here with middle pair.
Wow, and if you're Davey here, do you put a little raise in here?
Or do you fold?
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Definitely you could fold.
He calls, and we've got 3-way action here going to the turn. The turn's a 10, and now George picks up some more outs, but Davey still has the best hand, and Davey has a straight draw.
Yep.
And Carlos fires again.
Yeah, George needs has a 9 for a gut shot there.
But Carlos bets pretty weak here. He only bets 50.
Wow.
Which is about like 1/4 the size of the pot, dude.
It's kind of like a little slow down bet, right?
And George folds.
It's pretty easy to lay down for George there.
And Davey calls, and the river here is a 5.
Carlos gets a pair, but he doesn't get there.
King 9 is good.
Yep.
So what about that fight?
Oh, okay. But during one of the, obviously Jermaine Taylor won it in unanimous decision. A pretty good fight. Not great. But they actually showed a little clip of, they were filming Rocky 6 during the fights. They actually showed, like during the break between the fights, they showed this very old Sylvester Stallone, playing Rocky, and he had to it was one of his walking into the ring parts, and they actually got the crowd to start chanting Rocky, Rocky, and I just thought it was the most hysterical thing, because he's like, I don't know, what is he, 65 years old already? Sylvester Stallone, come on, Sly. He's actually funny enough, he's actually coming out with another Rambo.
Well, Rocky 5, he was the coach, right? He didn't fight.
He was the coach. Well, then he
Rocky
fought at the end.
Right.
And supposedly the premise for Rocky 6, which is almost laughable, is Adrian supposedly is dead, and he's like a down on his luck fighter, and then he's fighting a couple, and then the champion, for celebrity purposes, wants to fight Rocky in kind of a
at like
celebrity
65 years old.
Yeah, I mean whatever, he's 55, however old he is, but he just looked ridiculous.
William is raised here out of the blind with King Queen, and Timmy's gonna call here with Ace Deuce. Clubs.
And once again, we're live at the bike here. We're stock full of information, not just poker, folks.
Well, this is the problem with Ace Deuce, Dave. I mean, if you don't hit your ace, where do you think you're at? I mean, the guy raised out of the blind. You call them in position. Right?
Yeah, and William's going to do a little continuation bet here.
And it's actually Ace 3 of clubs. Not that really makes that much of a difference, but
no. I mean, and what was the raise pre-flop?
55 out of the blind.
So it's $45 more to him. Yeah. Problem with Ace 3 of clubs, I'm not sure what I'm rooting for besides clubs.
Right.
Obviously, clubs are good.
But especially if an ace comes up. Well, the thing, though, too, is that it's almost like the players aren't really that good, though. I mean, even in our 1,000 game or even in some of our top games, where if you call them once on the flop and they don't have an ace, that they're going to fire into you again out of position on the turn.
No, without it.
It's just, you almost can sometimes get away with just calling.
Right.
And then against a player that's not too tricky, you just hope that he checks and you can bet and take it away on the turn. Right?
You've often pointed out, and correctly so, you've often pointed out that calling in position in a no-limit game is sometimes as powerful or even more powerful than raising.
Right. But the problem is, if you get stubborn and the guy fires at you, say 2 or 3 times,
Yeah. He can throw a nice little value bets in there, and you find yourself losing, $300-400 on a hand you shouldn't even be in.
Or say something that happened with Dan, the gentleman that plays. Usually, he hasn't played on the show in a while. If you hit trips and the other guy's got a bigger kicker, you might go broke.
Yeah.
King 4-10 here.
Now, you wouldn't think it was 7-tier, but he has the best hand.
And everybody checked. The turn's a 6. Carlos did not bet with ace-jack there on the button. Even though he had brought it in for a pre-flop raise. And look at this, Timmy's going to come out and bet on a flush draw here. He bets 50, and Carlos calls.
Well, and you can't call him that if you have 7s,
And now William's going to fold. It's almost like Carlos is playing this like jacks queens, right?
Yeah.
And the river is a 7, and
Wow.
Timmy's going to have to bet this to win it, and William would have made a set. And Timmy bets.
Is he betting enough, though?
125. Carlos folds.
And once again, I'm going to point out the tell that I pointed out a while ago. When somebody puts out the chips like that and kind of throws them out there and then kind of like stacks them that way, it's almost in a form, I think it's subconscious, but it's there to intimidate your opponent.
To sloppily put the chips out?
I don't even want to say sloppily, but it's just like he puts them out there and he makes them a lot of stacks, makes them look like they're more than they are, to intimidate. And obviously, you and I have watched over 1,000 hours of No Limit Hold'em. I know it's really helped my game. I'm sure it's helped yours as well. And it's just interesting to see the patterns that people do.
Now, seat 4's got a king-jack over there. And he's just limps. That's Carlos.
45.
And we got a raise here by William. 45. Looks like he's got 6-8 offsuit here. And he's in position, so trying to make that little mini raise. And let's see if he can fire on the flop if Carlos misses and take it down. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
Well, look at this, though. A king comes out.
Yeah, I don't think he missed. But Williams got second pair.
Well, Carlos is going to bet.
Bet right into it, huh?
Bet 75.
Carlos is a pretty straightforward player, isn't he? Checks when he doesn't have it, bets when he has it.
And he folds. A lot of times, though, I mean, it's been written sometimes, too. And actually, I think it's more for limit play, though. But it can be applied to no limit that a guy there in late position, say like he's on the cutoff, do you think that necessarily hit him? Because wouldn't he be in the pot with hands with a king in it for a raise to open the pot?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely would think that. Obviously, Carlos is not a conventional player. Plays for fun and stuff, and sometimes you can't put him on what most players would do.
The button moves over here to seat 6.
Not prisoner. How did you end up at Fresno State? What? What's the story?
We got a limp in here at seat 2.
Having fun here at Live at the Bike.
Yes.
If you want to join us, come on down to the Bicycle Casino. We're about 10 miles south of Los Angeles on Eastern Avenue in Bell Gardens.
So 4-way action, $40 pot. Like you said, Corey, I mean, pretty passive, just limping in there with the ace-king. In mid to late position, too.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I mean, you're leaving in a hand like ace-4 or something. You just don't know where you're at.
Well, it gets checked around, turns a 6. Carlos has...
Well, Peter's got a straight.
Yeah, Peter's got the bottom end of the straight. He's going to bet 40. Well, Carlos has got second pair here with a gut shot to the 8, but... Wow, man, he's going to make the call here, Dave.
Well, if he hits an 8, he's going to win.
Well, a 3 would chop it, too, right?
Right.
And the river's a 3.
Let's see if Carlos bets it. Come on, Carlos, bet this now.
Nope.
Board.
Board.
For the board.
And Peter can't believe that he got that call there.
Yeah, very interesting play. Now, the reason I don't like limping in with ace-king in late position, it's just because, the flop comes out ace-6-4, and you don't know if somebody has 6-4 even.
Right.
And how much money do I really want to lose, especially like in a limit game, you can't lose that much. So if the blinds called you with 6-4, okay.
Right.
But if I make a nice hefty range with ace-king, well, hopefully I'll be able to figure out where my opponents are at a little easier.
I would take a look at another chip count. I guess, is Peter lost some money?
He lost a little bit on one small hand, nothing big.
Alex there up to almost 4,000 in seat 1.
Yeah, Davies doubled up to 1,200 there.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Limp in here by William with ace-5 in the cutoff, or 1 off the cutoff. 3-way action. Queen 4-9. Looks like George over there is open-ended. And let's see if he's going to fire in with a semi-bluff.
That's a nice flop for George there, because it's a rainbow board. He doesn't have to worry about the flush.
That's 60.
He doesn't have the best hand yet, but he gets the ace out of there. Nice
Well,
bet.
no one had a pair there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then what about when he bets again? And where are you?
5 more.
Now, I appreciate all the emails we get in terms of strategy and specific hands. Obviously, we can't get into them during the show. But we'll do our best to answer them either if I see the person or if you send me a private message to my 2+2 account, which is Friar Tuck. I will answer them there. And obviously Bart will as well. But obviously specific poker questions we can't really get to.
Ace-queen suited here by Peter. He's going to raise it up to 45. And it looks like he's going to take it down here.
Yeah. Take it down, Peter. I wonder what's going on in the Seattle-Philly game.
Wow, I heard it was...
I heard it's a close one, a real nail-biter.
Right,
so.
right. We don't want to ruin it for anyone out there.
Hey, I don't want to say anything, but I did say that Seattle-Indianapolis could be a precursor for the Super Bowl. Let's see. Very interesting.
And what happened to Philadelphia, Dave? Good Lord.
Oh, come on. They weren't that good when they had Terrell Owens.
I mean,
Now
McNabb...
without him, Emmett McNabb?
The sports hernia. He's out for the season, right?
Yeah, he is.
And Philly's done. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're over.
No chance. They're 5-7, and they're not even close to the playoffs now.
Yeah. If you win, you get like...
It'll be interesting to see a statistic as to teams that make the Super Bowl the next year. You know, what are some of the worst records that a team has had? Because they're going to end up like, what, 6-10 maybe?
They very well might. They've still got a tough schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah, you know. Now, we had a raise here by seat 8. Look at George. He's mixing it up with 8-3. But Alex is going to come over the top of him with ace-king. He's going to re-raise to 250.
And this is the part of George's game that, I mean, he can get on me all he wants, but I just don't like raising with 8-3. I mean, hey, if you're going to raise with an odd hand, raise with a hand that has some value. 6-5, 8-9, you know?
George folds.
Some sort of a suited connector maybe, right?
I don't know if George is really that pleased with our commentary just in general, Dave. He seems to be... He used to kind of be nice to me. Now, these days, he's... Not that he's bitter, but he just looks at me in a certain type of way that, you know...
Yeah, and some people say, you know, the funny thing, some people say that it's easy for us to be in the booth, but obviously we have to face the music because a player like George, we know he watches the archives, sees them all, and if we say something bad about him, we know we're going to hear it the next day.
Right.
But to me, I just don't like raising with 8-3 offsuit. What's the value in that? You're risking 55 to win 15, and if you get called, you hate your hand.
Now Peter's going to raise it up here to 55, 6-5 offsuit. And the button's going to make a call.
I only call.
And George is in there with deuce 3 clubs. To me, this hand has more value than 8-3 offsuit.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's just...
So Peter is the pre-flop raiser, and Peter has a pair, and he has the best hand here with a pair of 5s, so he's going to bet.
100.
He's going to bet 100.
And I pointed out, once again, Peter does it to perfection there. He raises with, obviously, a pretty skeptical hand, 5-6, but 5-6 has some value. You can flop a straight.
And that's going to be the last. This is going to be the last hand of the night here, Dave.
Pretty exciting.
We want to, invite everybody down tomorrow to play Limit. We know all you 2+2ers out there like to play. We're going to try to put some type of limit game down, whether it's 6-12, 8-16, 20-40, 30-60, whatever it might be. So come on down here. Check it out. George Georgian's got ace-jack off suit here, and he's going to raise it. But look at this. Alex has got ace-king again. See if he comes over the top of him again.
55.
No, this time he's just going to smooth call here, Dave.
Wow, okay. I wonder if he picked up a tell on George before.
Am I raising a bit too much? Just up back down a bit? I've got a raising hand.
And this time he does have a raising hand, but he's badly dominated.
Yeah. This is almost more of a time where you actually would want to re-raise ace-jack as opposed to re-raising 3-8. Because chances are, unless you're just going to outplay him after the flop, well, Carlos is going to call here with queen 10.
This is interesting. I'm curious what'll come out in here. A lot of Broadway out there.
Yeah, and Timmy calls it king 10.
If an ace comes out, let's see what happens.
We've got about a $250 pot. Here we go to the flop. Queen 9 deuce. Well, Carlos has top pair, but he's got a weak kicker.
And he's outflopped them all. And he's not even at the table.
He's not even at the table. He got up. He checks. And everybody checks. Turns a jack. And now Carlos is open-ended. But look at this. Timmy's made a straight.
Yep.
Carlos checks again. And Timmy checks. And now George is going to bet with ace-jack. So Timmy checks his king 10 straight. And George bets 125 here. And let's see how Timmy's going to play it. And you got to think that Carlos is at least going to call, right, with queen 10?
I'd imagine so.
He might even raise here.
Look, he's probably like, wow, I had a big hand.
I mean, George checked the flop. Yeah. And it looks like he's just going to call, and let's see what Timmy does.
Not a very threatening board, I got to tell you.
And he's going to raise. What is rainbow? What we talk about, I mean, you don't want any card to come that might kill your action.
Exactly.
Dave. An 8, a 10, a king, or an ace might all kill your action, right?
You never know what these guys have either.
Yeah. And he raises.
How much more do you have?
And it looked like he raised it up maybe 150 more.
7 something.
And he only has about 450 left, Dave.
Yeah, and George, I imagine, is going to throw this away.
But Carlos might call. You never know. Guy's got... And Carlos is going to re-raise him all in.
Yeah,
and Timmy's got the nuts.
Yeah, this is pretty much all of it. Carlos is going to need a king to tie it.
And this is going to be over $1,000 pot.
Only a king, and there's only 2 left in the deck, by the way.
Yeah. You have it already? Yeah, I have it. Okay. Just go ahead. Whatever it comes. You want to make a deal or not?
There's no reason.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
And here we go to the river. The river's a 9.
Yeah. And you heard what he said. There's no reason for him to make a deal.
Equal 55 to that shit?
Wow, and George says you call 55 with that?
That's all he said?
Well, that's going to do it for us, folks.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting night, huh?
Again, thanks for joining us during our experimental heads-up portion of the show, and we ended it with a nice 5-10 no limit.
It's fair. I mean, where else can you get no limit heads-up tournament, experience? And then you see, obviously, the full ring game.
Absolutely. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Please join us tomorrow around 6 o'clock Pacific time for our limit. Most likely 8-16 limit. So if you want to come down and play, you can.
Yeah.
Get here like by 4 o'clock right here in Mel Gardens, California.
And if you want to take me on, I'll meet you at thebike.com.
Check it out tomorrow night. Dave Tuckman, 7 p.m. Pacific time at thebike.com.
Bring it on.
And your username is Tuckman?
Tuckman it is.
All right, so for everyone here in the booth, and for David Tuckman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.